fiance proposed to me just to stay close to my stepsister.
Is she hot?
I feel embarrassed writing this, but I need to get this off my chest. I got engaged a week ago. He proposed to me himself, and I really believed he loved me. But even before the engagement, something always felt uncomfortable. By the way, this comes from Putsum1797, and if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OKStorytime subreddit. I'm Sophia.
I'm Riley.
And we're here to give good advice goofily, but we don't have all the answers. We only know what we do. So let us know what you would do in the comments. And OP says, whenever we were together, he would bring up my stepsister. He would compliment her style, her makeup, the way she dresses. Sometimes he would tell me I should try to look more like her. He would say things like, you'd look better if you dress like she does, or you should try her kind of makeup. I'm a simple person. I don't like heavy makeup. I never thought there was something wrong with that. But around him, I started feeling like I wasn't enough. Yesterday, we went out for dinner. He left his phone unlocked when he went to the restroom. I know I shouldn't have looked.
Oh no.
But I did. I opened his gallery and found pictures of him and my stepsister together.
Oh, okay.
Not just normal family pictures. They looked close, intimate. Some of them were clearly taken before we got engaged, but they didn't look very old. I felt sick.
Wait.
I'm confused.
Wait.
He didn't have to propose to you.
And he already bagged the stepsister?
Yes.
So he didn't.
Because I would kind of more understand if the stepsister didn't like him and he was like, the only way that I can ever be around this true love of my life is to propose to her, to OP, which still doesn't make sense.
This is the type of greed they talk about in the Bible.
Yeah. I just don't understand why, if you already know the stepsister's into you and you're into the stepsister, you could just break up with OP. You didn't have to propose to her.
But OP probably has more money, though.
Maybe. When I got home, I asked my stepsister about it. She admitted they used to be together. She said our family didn't approve of their relationship. Then she said something that hasn't left my mind since. She said he never really moved on from her. I asked her why he would propose to me if that was true. She said being engaged to me made it easier for him to still be around her without causing family drama. I don't know if that's exactly what he planned or if she just said that to hurt me. Feels like it, because you don't just say that for no reason, you know? Because she could have said, I don't know, that's really weird. Like, I'm sorry I didn't tell you before. It felt kind of awkward, but no. She said all of that. It felt calculated. But after seeing those pictures and remembering how often he compared me to her, I can't ignore the possibility. He's still texting me like everything is normal, talking about wedding plans, telling me what to wear when we meet. And I'm sitting here wondering if I was ever really chosen or if I was just convenient. I haven't confronted him yet. I'm still trying to process how quickly something that felt so happy turned into something that feels humiliating. I just needed to say this somewhere. And we've got some comments, but what do you think?
Gotta break it off.
Yeah.
Everything in your relationship was just fake.
Yeah.
It was a facade.
I think regardless of whether or not this guy is actually still into her stepsister, he lied about the he admitted the truth about having a relationship with her. And that's already a step too far.
Stay with him if you like to be
Lied
uncomfortable at night, lied to.
Yeah.
I don't know. You like to think and live in a reality that's not real. Stay with him if you want that.
Yeah. Stay with him if you're into all that. Otherwise, break up. Raina Air says, this is what I wanted to say. The whole stepsister situation is bonkers, yes, but just the fact that dude wanted to dictate what OP should be wearing, how she should look, is so totally icky. Using OP to be close to the other chick and not saying anything about their previous relationship? And the whole thing is yuck. OP, cut your losses there. Sad situation, and I would never trust your stepsister again. Best of luck, but just so you know, this is not on you. Not your fault. Continue to be yourself. This mess is that creepy a-hole's fault. And your stepsister is not coming out of this smelling of roses, in my opinion. You deserve better.
Yup.
And we've got a comment from OP who says, Thank you so much. I don't really have close friends or family I can talk to about this. No one to give advice or help me feel lighter. I really appreciate that you cared and reminded me that none of this is my fault. I just don't know if I should share this with my parents or if I should even talk to my fiance about it once. OP says, my parents have always cared more about my stepsister, mainly because of my stepmother. My fiance didn't have a big business or status at the time, so my stepmother never agreed to the relationship. She didn't like me much either and wanted me to get married quickly. My stepsister only discussed with her family who she liked and what kind of job they had. My mother refused that match, and after that, my fiance and I continued our relationship secretly. No one in our house knew about us, because in our culture, it's considered bad to bring someone home or discuss personal relationships openly before family approval. That's why my sister never introduced him at home. Usually, if someone likes someone, families talk first and then arrange the relationship. And we've got an update
You
5
know,
days later.
I'm going to make a bold assumption.
Mm-hmm.
It's probably I feel like an Indian or
Yeah, probably.
someone of the Muslim community, because I have talked to people that are a part of this, and that's kind of how they deal.
Yeah, well, yeah, like the arranged marriage.
Like, I have a
Yeah.
friend who has never met his partner's parents because
Yeah.
he knows that if he does, it's bow wow time. It's time to get married.
Yeah.
And they're like, we are not ready for that.
Yeah.
They kind of have to hide their relationship.
Well, it seems like that's why OP had never heard of it, of her fiance and stepsister being together, because no one really knew.
Okay, this makes a lot more sense
Yeah,
then.
yeah. Still break up. And we've got an update 5 days later. After reading all your comments, I finally spoke to my father this morning. He was shocked when I told him everything. I also confronted my stepsister face to face. At first, neither of them wanted to believe me. They said I was lying. But when my father asked my fiance to clarify over the phone, he finally admitted the truth. By the way, the truth is that you guys can listen to full episodes with stories just like this. Just go to Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or iHeartRadio and search up OK Storytime. I need to know what the truth is.
The truth is that they are done.
They're done.
No
I
more
hope so.
dowry. No more this. No more that.
Yeah, I hope he gets tossed out. I hope their engagement is done. That's what I want. After hearing this, my father kicked him out of the house and told my stepsister, if you want to marry him, go ahead, but end your relationship with me. My stepmother tried to convince my father that my stepsister is immature and that I should forgive her, but my father stood firm.
Whoa.
By the way, I am now feeling very relaxed. I can't believe I escaped such a difficult situation. Thank God I'm still processing everything, but I finally feel like I'm free from this mess and can focus on myself. And that's the end of that story.
All right.
Heck yeah, man. Sure
Dang,
you can.
That super wild to know
Yeah.
that your stepsis is stealing your man.
Yeah.
And God, dude,
Yeah, she behaved so weirdly in that.
she did.
I
She
don't
did, but I think it's
know.
such a touchy subject around there.
I guess so. Yeah, I guess.
It's like
There's a lot of secrecy already.
yeah, I don't know what to do. I don't know how to feel about this. Yada yada yada. Yikes.
But that's the end of that story. My friend wanted a free wedding, but I told her it's unrealistic. Unrealistic, my butt. I, 24 female, am a member of a friend group in which one member, we'll call her Coral, 23 female, is getting married. She announced her engagement to her fiance, 25 male, a few weeks ago, and we were all happy for her. By the way, this comes from Throwaway Free Wedding. And if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OK Storytime subreddit. I'm Sophia.
I'm Angie.
And we're here to give good advice goofily, but we don't have all the answers. We only know what we'd do. So let us know what you would do in the comments. And OP says, over the weekend, though, she shared more specific plans for the wedding. And that's where things have kind of gone off the rails. She said she's been seeing a lot of people on TikTok and Insta showing how to plan free weddings. Weddings where the couple spends $0 aside from the marriage certificate fee, I guess. At first, I thought she meant a city hall wedding, which would be completely fine. But then she got into the details and her expectations for the ceremony. She's going to try and find someone with a large outdoor space to use, not formally a wedding venue, who will donate their area in support of love. She's going to have all of her guests bring a potluck with very specific assignments. She will have a friend officiate, and a friend do photography, a friend do save the dates and invites, her family do the flowers, etc., including some harder to swing, in my opinion, Things like getting a large tent, decorations, wedding favors, speakers, band, etc. I'm not sure what her plan was for a dress. What's more is that Coral and her fiance really aren't poor. From what I can tell, she works as an accountant at a big company, and her fiance does software? Sales. Plus, his parents are loaded. Sounds like they just want to do the free wedding thing for the sake of it. That would be okay, but she's just shifting all of the costs onto other people, some of whom are probably less well off. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, the fact that she's saying, I'm going to have someone do photography, I'm going to have someone do like the food, that's all things that you should be paying your friends for.
Like the fact that it's just your friend doing it doesn't really mean, like, I get, like, maybe in the olden days, I feel like that could work.
Sure.
You know what I mean? Because in the olden days, we paid for a lot less things.
Because it was the olden days.
It was the olden days, and we did a lot more work ourselves. And so, but nowadays, it's like, no, you need to pay for that. You don't just get companionship in exchange for the work. Like,
no, all of your friends, like, you could probably recruit your friends to help set up the venue.
Yeah.
Maybe. Honestly, I feel like the potluck thing could work as long as you don't say, you have to make this. Like, if you just said, hey, everyone bring a dish.
Yeah.
Some people, please don't just bring desserts. Please bring actual food.
Right.
That could totally work.
Yeah. Yeah.
But everything else that you got here, no.
Yeah. And I'm also hoping that at least, like, she's doing at least something here.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Is
like,
she doing?
Is she setting up? Like, what?
Nada.
What's going on?
She's not doing anything. She told me that she wants me to make the cake and then sent me some pictures for inspiration. The cakes were ridiculously elaborate. We're talking multi-tier fondant flowers, gold leaf, and one even had a hand-painted watercolor design. I'm not a professional baker. I just like to bake cookies and brownies sometimes. I told her that those cakes would probably take me days to make and they wouldn't come out anywhere near as good. She kind of laughed that off and said, oh, it's not about it being perfect. It's just about everyone pitching in. It'll be fun. Huh? I told her that, fun or not, what she was describing was basically her friends and family subsidizing her wedding with time, money, and labor, and that it was kind of unfair to expect people to spend so much on her free wedding. Or else she was expecting everyone to show up to a lackluster event and just pretend it was amazing. It's like a group project that none of us wanted to do because we already graduated and moved on from all that, so we don't need the credit. She does graduate a year later than the rest of us. Okay, so she's still in school too.
She's young.
I said that if she wants a free wedding, she should probably just elope or go to City Hall because this isn't really free. It's just free for her. I might have been a bit more forceful in my wording, but I didn't swear or call her names or anything like that. She got super quiet and just looked at me for a minute or so and then left, with another one of our friends driving her home. Later that night, I got a text from that friend saying I had really hurt Coral's feelings, and that even if the plans were a bit unrealistic, I should have just let Coral come to that conclusion on her own. Coral then messaged me just saying, sorry, don't worry about the cake, with no more context. I'm feeling pretty bad now, especially since Coral was so happy and excited and she never really said anything mean to me. Perhaps I should have just gone along with the cake since she said she wouldn't be mad if it turned out badly. But I'm worried that her wedding would not have been what she wanted, and I was also frustrated about the cake request. And there is an edit. I'll read this. Honestly, I feel a bit bad now. Coral really is a sweet person who's just a bit naive. I feel like a lot of people in the comments are tearing her up more than she deserves. She's always been the baby of the group, and I just got frustrated and ranted on this case. I don't know what the fiance thinks about all of this. I think OP's like, I don't know. You may have been too harsh. I don't know. I wasn't there.
Yeah.
But I think it's fair to be like, hey, you need a reality check.
Yeah. I mean, how are you going to come to that conclusion on your own if someone doesn't complain? You know?
Exactly. If everyone was like, yeah, okay.
Right.
Okay. Then she gets to the wedding day.
Yeah.
And realizes, oh, everyone just kind of did the bare minimum.
Right.
This kind of sucks.
Yeah, and like even then she'd probably just be like mad at them or something.
Yeah.
Like she's probably like it would be really hard for me to understand how she could just like randomly wake up one day and be like, I'm expecting too much of these people. You know? Like
I don't see how she would have done that.
Yeah, I exactly. So
yeah.
I think you're fine. I mean, yeah, maybe your wording was off, but at the same time, maybe she needs to grow up here.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Maybe she just needs to grow up.
Yeah.
And stop being the baby of the group.
Exactly.
Some of OP's comments. Arctic Chain says, Jesus, I only got through the first paragraph. I would neither involve people in a wedding like that, nor would I go. OP says, I'm really curious if she would have told everyone in the extended family and friend groups showing up about the free aspect ahead of time. It definitely sounds like something she would take pride in, but also I don't know how you bring that up. Particular Path says, not the a-hole. Your friend is being ridiculous, and you were the only one with the balls to tell her. Be happy she decided to not force you to do the cake. OP says, in her defense, for the last few things she's been naive about, she has ended up coming to the right conclusion on her own in the end, so maybe I should have just let that happen. And there is an update. I don't know. Well, now she's going to speed run that. Now she's going to get to the right conclusion right now.
Exactly. I think that's fine.
Yeah.
I think you just grow up. You just got to slap in the face of reality.
Yeah.
And you're fine. You're fine.
And then she'll realize, whoa, what was I thinking? That was a terrible idea.
What a good friend for being so honest with me. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
And if she doesn't feel like that, then that's on her.
Yeah. Update. Almost 2 months later. Hi there. My last post sort of blew up, lol. I really didn't think so many people would be that interested in my silly friend group drama. Short recap, my friend Coral announced she was going to have a free wedding with all of her friends, playing roles to volunteer a nice venue, tent, food, photography, band, cake, my role, etc. It sounded okay at first, but her expectations seemed unrealistically lavish, and I told her that in stronger wording, and she got upset. After reading the comments, I honestly began to feel bad for Coral. She really is a kind-hearted person, but a lot of people interpreted her as an insane, entitled bridezilla. That's really not the case. I decided I was going to make the cake, and I sent her an apology text, to which I didn't get any reply. That was making me really anxious. I still didn't think that Coral's requests were that reasonable, and I wasn't expecting the wedding to fully go to her plans, but that's not for me to worry about. Finally, I got a message from Coral's fiancé, who we'll call Basil, asking to meet up. I said yes. My expectation going into this was that Basil was going to tell me how much I hurt Coral's feelings, and I was going to reiterate my apology and share some research planning I had done on the cake. That's not how it went, though. As it turns out, the whole free wedding thing was Basil's idea.
Interesting.
Basil.
Basil, what are you doing here? You're supposed to be on the food.
Yeah. That's not the impression I got before. Basil didn't at first explain why he wanted to do it, but when pressed, it sounds like it's so he could spend the money that he and Coral had been saving up for their wedding on something else. A boat.
Oh.
A Catalina 27, apparently. I'm sorry. If I found out that my friend who wants me to freaking subsidize their wedding, make their wedding free, have me do all the work, was doing that because they're trying to save up for a boat,
bro,
I'd be like, no, not actually going to this wedding anymore.
No, pay me. You can save the money.
Yeah, you don't need a boat.
You do not need a boat. Have the wedding on the boat, I guess, if you want that, and then that's so annoying.
Very useful and practical thing to have when you're living in the city, especially if your fiance gets seasick.
Oh my
We did one of those river cruise things a while back, and she had a bad time. Basil says he'll help her get over that, and sailboats are different. I'm sorry, help her get over it? Does this man know how seasickness works?
We'll just work through it.
We'll just work through it. She'll vomit, and then it'll be fine.
Yeah, right? We'll just get over it.
I'll just Dramamine her every time we get on the boat.
Totally fine.
She doesn't need to be awake while we're on the boat. Anyway, after my whole outburst before, Coral has apparently been having second thoughts about the free wedding things. Basil asked me to talk to her, apologize, and tell her that it isn't a bad idea after all. He basically said I owe it to him to help clean up the mess I caused.
If I was his friend, oh my goodness.
I'm sorry. So now Coral's fiance has gone to OP, who's Coral's friend.
Yeah.
Has gone to OP and said, hey, Coral now has second thoughts about this free wedding, and I might not get my boat.
I want my boat.
Fix it. I'd be like, Coral, are you going to marry this guy?
Yeah, honestly, you want me to lie to your fiance about my feelings and just because I caused a mess? I mean, what?
I don't feel great about that, though. I don't want to drive a wedge between Coral and Basil. but telling her I think it's a good idea after all feels like lying. And I guess actively advocating for a potential train wreck is a further line for me than just agreeing to play my assigned, voluntold Baker role. By the way, I'm going to volunteer you guys to listen to full episodes of stories just like this. Just go to Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or iHeartRadio and search up OK Storytime. There is a little bit left to this story. Any final thoughts?
Boo, Basil. Boo.
Basil sucks.
Gonna chop you up, put you on the lasagna.
Yeah, it's all you're good for.
Yeah.
Come on, we're gonna put you on a little margarita pizza.
Yeah.
Because you're useless
And
unless
other
you're on that
Italian
pizza.
food.
Mm-hmm. But there is a little bit left. Moreover, this was my first real conversation with Basil, and I have to say I'm not totally convinced he is a great person. I don't know if he has exactly manipulated her into going along with this, but it kind of feels that way. So what do I do? It's been a little while now since I talked to Basil, so I really do need to do something. Be it what Basil asked, or further involving myself in drama by telling Coral that I don't think the wedding or the entire marriage is a good idea. Some of OP's comments, LQ Tian says, honestly, make the cake. Bring it to your friend like yesterday. Tell her she can have the wedding like this or any other way she wants it to be, but using the saved money for a boat is the second stupidest decision she's making, right after marrying the selfish a-hole Basil. OP says, right, I really don't have any issues making the cake anymore, but I don't know how to approach the rest of the situation with Basil. Janus 1981 says, don't make the cake. Don't lie and say this nonsense is a good idea. You seem pretty sensible apart from on this issue. What the F is the matter with you? This is all unacceptable. You were 100% right the first time round. Stop backtracking. And let's be clear, this crappy couple are foisting wedding expenses onto other people so they can buy a boat. You're an idiot for even needing to ask what you should do. That is a needlessly harsh comment. OP says, I just don't want to tell Coral about all of this and have her end up going through with the free wedding and marriage, which would almost certainly mean losing her as a friend. Who is a name says, makes me wonder if Basil is forcing her not to respond. Continuing to try to check in and being a friend to listen could be much bigger than you think. OP says, I hope that's not it. I will try to reach out to her another way.
Yeah, I feel like if that is the case, then if she just reached out and was like, hey, like, I want to talk to you about, like, the wedding stuff. Can we meet up? Then Basil would totally be like, oh, yeah, you should totally meet up with her. You should see what she has to say. And then she doesn't say what Basil wants her to say.
Yeah, I think you could trick Basil.
You could manipulate the
Basil
manipulator.
boy.
Yeah.
My boyfriend's family excluded me for years, but invited his brother's new girlfriend.
She's probably cooler than you.
My boyfriend, 31 male, and I, 33 female, have been together for just over 3 years. We live together and are in a committed relationship. Over time, I have made a genuine effort to connect with his family. I have joined them for holidays, birthdays, other gatherings, and I have always tried to be kind, respectful, and supportive. By the way, this comes from Tacos and Sashimi. And if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OKStorytime subreddit. I'm Carly.
I'm Keon.
And we're here to give good advice scoopfully, but we don't have all the answers. We only know what we would do. So let us know what you would do in the comments. And OP says, his aunt, 46 female, who is considered the last single aunt in the family, announced that she is getting married in June this year. It has been a big deal for everyone, and the family's very excited. I assumed I would be attending the wedding with my boyfriend. I have met his aunt several times. We've always gotten along. There has never been any tension or awkwardness between us. When I asked my boyfriend about the plans, he told me that he had been invited, but was not allowed to bring a +1. I felt disappointed, but I wanted to give the benefit of the doubt. I figured maybe the wedding was small or the guest list was limited. Then I found out that his younger brother, 26 male, who has only been dating his girlfriend, 20 female, for about 6 months, was allowed to bring her to the wedding. That really hurt. I do not blame her at all, but it made me feel like I'm not seen as part of the family, even after 3 years. I talked to my boyfriend about how I felt. I explained that it made me feel excluded and undervalued. He listened and was supportive, and he told me he understood why I was hurt and that my feelings were valid. At the same time, he feels that I should not let this one event affect how I view his family as a whole. He thinks I should continue attending family gatherings and that skipping them might make things more awkward or strained later on. This is where I'm struggling. There is a family reunion coming up this summer in September. It's a big camping trip they do every year and everyone attends. Normally, I would go, but right now I do not feel comfortable. I want to sit this one out. I feel like I need time to process and protect my emotional space instead of forcing myself into a situation. I love my boyfriend and I'm not trying to create a rift or make him choose sides. I just need some space to think about what this all means for me and how I fit into his world moving forward. Has anyone dealt with something similar? How do you find the balance between protecting your feelings and staying connected with your partner's family? And we have an update.
This is weird. This is really weird.
It's really weird.
And the fact that your boyfriend's like, nah, you shouldn't, like, doesn't, I have a feeling he doesn't want you to go.
Right. Why is he not calling out the fact that his younger brother gets a +1 and he doesn't?
But he's not
like,
really
does he
pushing
not
it.
want you there?
But then-
Like, he's like, don't worry about it, babe, it's fine.
And I get the, like, it's, if it was like, oh, no one's invited, that's one thing. I
Right,
get, and Opie
but
understood that too.
Brother's girlfriend of 6 months.
He's invited. You met the aunt. You've been together
You've
for about
gone
3
to
years.
Christmas, like multiple holidays.
I feel like he doesn't want you there because he was like, you should just let this
Ay.
go. Like, it's just not, like, this shouldn't affect you. You should just let this go. I'm not going to really ask about it. Like, yeah, little bro and his girl for 6 months get to go. Like, they're going together. But, like, I just want to go alone.
The wedding invitation was sent out in March through the Not website. I went through the whole site, including the couple's story and the Q&A section. To RSVP, you have to type in your full name, and it will indicate whether you're invited solo or with a +1.
Oh, let me see. Go on.
When my boyfriend entered his name, only his name came up with no +1. Out of curiosity, we typed in his younger brother's name, and his did include his girlfriend's name. In the Q&A section, it said the guest list was limited and only those listed by name were invited. At first, my boyfriend was upset. Oh, okay. And wanted to reach out to his aunt directly. I told him not to. I didn't want to add any extra stress to her while she's planning her wedding. I helped my best friend plan hers last year, so I know how overwhelming it can be. Instead, he called his dad to ask about it. He stepped out for the conversation, so I'm not exactly sure what was said. After I posted about it last night, I brought it up again with my boyfriend. He was hesitant at first, but eventually opened up. I had a gut feeling about his younger brother, and it turns out I was not wrong. The couple decided not to invite unwed partners, but they made an exception for his younger brother. From what I've seen and heard over the years, he's definitely the family favorite. He was a NICU baby, and the family has treated him with extra care. He usually gets what he wants and rarely faces consequences. As we talked more, my boyfriend admitted he does feel some resentment towards his younger brother. He said it's always felt like his brother receives special treatment, and this is just another example. He has come to accept it because it has been that way since his brother was born. There are clearly deeper emotions at play for him, and I want to support him through that. I also found out that a cousin, 34 male's long-term girlfriend, 29 female, of 8 years was not invited either.
Dang. Okay. So my theory was wrong.
Yeah.
Thankfully.
It's literally just younger
This
brother
golden
that gets a
child.
+1.
That's insane. I feel like the
That's
entire family is gonna go out
crazy.
on a limb. Going out on a limb here. They're gonna just like look at him and just be like, "Do you think this is cool? Do you think this is fair?"
I don't think they're going to question anything. He's the golden child and everyone's been doing this for him.
This is crazy.
That made me feel a little less alone. She's actually more upset about it than I am. I reached out to her and we're planning a spa and nail day on the wedding day. Honestly, it helps to know I'm not the only one feeling left out. By the way, you guys never have to feel left out of listening to more full episodes with stories just like this. Go to Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or iHeartRadio and search up OK Storytime. We just have a little bit more.
This is really weird, and I think this is eye-opening for your partner, for a lot of the partners and family members who are like, whoa, this is not cool.
Yeah, that's going to be such a weird, like, people should, like, because you don't want to call him out at the wedding, but it's like, did he, like, get upset and cry and that's how we got it? Or, like, literally they were just like, we're not even going to, like, potentially upset the golden baby. Like,
I want to know what Opie's partner's dad said because, like, yeah, he's the only one who gets the invite, and
Yeah.
like, hey, Dad, do you not see what's wrong with that at all? Does no one see what's wrong with this?
my boyfriend and the cousin are still planning to attend the wedding to support their aunt, which I completely understand. It is an important day for her. It still stings that I was not included, but I've accepted that I cannot control how others choose to handle their guest list or family dynamics. I am choosing to focus on my peace instead. I am still undecided about attending the family reunion camping trip, but if the cousin's girlfriend goes, I will be more open to it. P.S. The petty part of me wants to not invite this couple to our future wedding when my boyfriend and I get married, and also not give the younger brother a +1. It made me laugh just thinking about it. I might get over it by then, but I thought it was a funny little thought worth sharing.
Yeah, this is a weird
Depends
family.
if you want to be petty at your wedding or not.
It's your wedding, your rules, and I get it. But this is a weird dynamic for the entire family to just be like, "That's cool." Like this is all cool. It flies under the radar, kind of thing. I don't know. Very weird. Very, very weird. And
I just don't get how nobody's like questioning.
no one's
that.
questioning it. That's my head scratcher. Is nobody's questioning it, and everyone's playing it cool. Like this is okay. I don't know. I don't like it.
My sister copied my wedding dress. Now the family is divided.
Stop copying me.
I, 20 female, have been planning my wedding to Michael, 21 male, for the past 3 years. My dream wedding is in October of this year, and my sister's wedding is planned for the last day of September. Because she had planned her wedding late, not many options are available for her. By the way, this comes from Jenna Stories, and if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OKStorytime subreddit. And I'm Angie.
I'm Sophia.
And we're here to give good advice goofily, but we don't have all the answers. We just know what we would do in these situations. So let us know what you would do down below. And OP says she couldn't find a nice dress due to her tight budget, and the fact that she was 5 months pregnant with a kind of visible bump wasn't helping. I have planned my wedding to my childhood best friend since we were kids. Michael and I grew up together here due to our parents being close friends. I have booked my venue, catering, dress, florists, etc. way before my sister had announced her marriage/pregnancy. Keep in mind, she has only started her wedding planning at the start of August, which meant it was kinda her own fault for not being prepared. Her boyfriend, now fiance, 26 male, proposed to her in early February this year. One day, my sister texted me asking to see my dress out of pure curiosity. I harmlessly sent her a photo of the dress. I had already purchased it a year in advance. The next day, my sister announced to my whole family, while I was present, that she had found a wedding dress. I was over the moon for her and asked to see it. "Here it is," she said as she pulled out a dress. I was shocked, to say the least, when she pulled out an exact copy of my dress. When I asked her why it was the same dress as mine, she replied with, "I just liked your dress so much that I thought I'd reach out to the stylist. I mean, you looked nice, but it fits my belly more than you." At this, my whole family got mad, but they didn't say anything. As of today, September 20th, 2023, I have still planned to wear my dress, and now my family has cut my sister off, and I have told her that she is not welcome to come to my wedding. And she called me a selfish witch who can't handle that she looks better. I honestly didn't mind the fact that she stole my dress, but I hated how she even tried to cover it up and try to trip me into accepting it. I do not feel sorry for her because she had a chance to redeem her loyalty, but she chose not to. I asked her to return the dress and buy a new one on September 15th. She refused the idea immediately. So now no one in the family wants to attend her wedding, and her husband's side of the family have been sending me DMs calling me selfish, stupid, and other words that I cannot say on this platform for ruining her wedding. So am I the a-hole? And we have some comments, but what would you say?
You just text them all back. I
Yeah.
know you are, but what am I?
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, and you can even automate it. So
Right.
every time they text you, it just goes, "I know you are, but what am I?" And they're
Yeah.
like, "What does that even mean?"
And then it's, "I know you are."
Yeah,
I
yeah.
just keep saying that.
I don't understand. I know
Right.
you're not.
We do have some comments. Comment number 1 says, "Not the a-hole. Block them and focus on your wedding. Wear your dress and have fun on the day, and make sure security does not let her in on the day. Just ignore her going forward. She has more drama to bring in future, so better to stay away from her." Comment number 2 says, I'm wondering what other messed up things before stealing the wedding dress design that sister has done that caused the rest of OP's family to go nuke with both disowning and not attending her wedding. I feel like there's way more to what the sister did, specifically to several family members, to make it what she did to OP the very last straw. I was driving home from work yesterday when I got a message from my mom asking me to come home. The message wasn't passive-aggressive and was innocent in its nature, so I decided to take the extra 20-minute drive since I could use some time to clear my head. My fiancé was waiting at my parents' house for me, and he genuinely looked pissed and had a hint of bright red from which I could make out that he had been crying for a while. My mom, dad, sister, and sister's fiancé were all there waiting for me. As soon as I walked in, my mother said something along the lines of, "Oh gosh, I can't anymore. How could I raise a kid like this?" Although she intended to whisper it under her breath, it came out loud enough so everyone heard. Next was my fiancé. He started crying and asked in a shaky tone, "How could you, Jenna? What happened?"
Jenna, what did you do, Jenna?
Oh my god. I was a bit surprised because I didn't really know what he meant. What, babe? What did I do? He cut me off before I could finish even saying that. Now, in an angry tone, he screamed, "How could you cheat on me, you lying witch?"
Well, maybe we should do a little bit of, I don't know, research.
Yeah.
A little bit of fact checking.
Some fact checking, check our sources, perhaps.
Yeah.
Do we have a reliable source or do we have OP's sister?
Yeah. Because if it's OP's sister, you're
Yeah.
dumb.
You're really dumb, and maybe we shouldn't get married because of
Yeah.
how dumb you are.
Because you're dumb.
By now, my mom was bawling while my dad put his arm around her shoulder. That's when my sister finally spoke, of course. "You accidentally sent me the message a while back when you were wasted. I didn't really want to show him, but now that you're getting married, I have to." I started sobbing at the sound of that. I would never cheat on my fiancé. I love him dearly. As I tried to protest, I was cut off. Each word I said fell on deaf ears. My fiancé left that same day, packing his bags, and my mother punted me out. They all thought I was a cheater.
Okay, people in this family are now I'm like, did the sister do anything before this? 'Cause
Yeah.
it seems like everyone's just very quick to be like, "Out, that's it. You get one strike, you're out.
Right.
Pack your
Right.
bags."
That's what it sounds like. Oh,
Yeah.
and by the way, you have many, many chances to listen to full episodes of stories just like this one on Spotify, iHeartRadio, Apple Podcasts, or whatever your favorite podcast app is. Just search OK Storytime. There is a little bit more to the story.
This sounds like the type of like plot. Do you know verticals on TikTok?
I do not.
Okay, so basically verticals are short stories that are filmed specifically to be
Oh.
vertical.
Okay, yeah.
And they're usually like very dramatic, kind of like K-drama-esque.
Yeah.
Some of them are all like businessman
I
turns
think
into
I
werewolf.
know what you're talking
You've
about.
probably seen
Yeah.
some of them. I have friends who like record them and stuff. And
Oh, wow.
a lot of people will go to like China to like actors will go to China to record them. But anyway, this is what that feels like.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, the immediate problem, and then I get kicked out, and then
Yeah.
immediately they find out like I wasn't able to say a word.
Right. Nothing realistic at all. Just
Yeah.
everything just on impulse.
Yeah, and like your family just like acts like your fiance who presumably you told about your sister
Yeah.
just was like, I'm not even gonna question this.
Right.
That's it.
Right. This is crazy. My fiance was sweet enough to let me keep the apartment that we bought together
Sorry.
a year back.
I'm sorry, your fiance was sweet enough? Your fiance that left without actually hearing you out was sweet
Yeah,
enough?
he was sweet enough?
No.
What? This morning, I got a text from a dummy number saying, "You should have just let me be happy with my dress. Now you pay for trying to ruin my big day." This was my sister. She has devised a plan to turn everyone against me because of a dress. Now I'm lying on the couch sobbing because how could someone do something so cruel over a dress? I know that I shouldn't have made my family unattend her wedding, but did she really have to ruin my whole life? I really don't know what to do. I have a stable job, but everyone from my family has cut me off except for my mother. I would appreciate suggestions on how to prove that I'm not lying. And that's the end of that story.
I refused to wear my mother-in-law's gift because I want to honor someone else.
Well then, do it.
On my honor as a gentleman, Hi, my wedding is next week, and on Thursday, my soon-to-be mother-in-law gifted me a very extravagant necklace set. I thanked her for it, and then she said it would look good at the wedding on me. I kind of froze and did not know what to say because it seemed like it was assumed I would wear it. I was caught off guard and did not want to react poorly in the moment. By the way, this comes from user HeavyLeading1937. And if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OKStorytime subreddit. I'm Dakota.
I'm Sophia.
And I'm Vincent.
And we're here to give good advice, goofily, but we don't have all the answers to all life's questions. We only know what we know. So if you know stuff that we don't know, why don't you tell us in the comments? As OP says, I had been planning on wearing my late grandma's necklace that she had left for me. I was very close to my maternal grandparents. My parents are doctors, and because they had long hours, I spent a lot of time with my grandparents and became very close to them. As it is, I already get a bit sad knowing that they're not here for my wedding, and wearing her necklace felt meaningful to me. I brought this up with my fiancé and my parents. My fiancé says he understands where I'm coming from, but mentioned that his mom really likes me and gave the gift with a lot of love. He said it would hurt her if I didn't wear it, and that it could lead to misunderstandings in a new relationship. He also said that I obviously have the final say, but he wanted me to think about all of that before deciding.
Okay.
Did we think about just freaking telling the mother-in-law this? For God's sakes.
What? That's so weird of him. He's like, obviously you have the final say, but I'm going to make you feel really bad and also guilt trip you. Now what you say?
My mom is really sympathetic to me too, but she also said that my grandma would understand. She echoed my fiance's sentiment that my mother-in-law had given the necklace with love and good intentions. I understand all of that, and I genuinely like my mother-in-law. She is a sweet woman, and I don't want to look difficult or ungrateful by rejecting such a generous gift. At the same time, I really want to wear my grandma's necklace. It feels personal, emotional, and important to me on this specific day. I'm struggling with how to balance honoring my grandmother while also navigating my relationship with my future mother-in-law. Would that make me an a-hole? And there is an edit. I'm editing this to paste my answer to a suggestion in the comments about wearing a different necklace to the ceremony versus the reception. Yeah, I could do that. The only thing is that both events are not the same for us culturally. We are an immigrant family, so when I say wedding, I'm talking about the Ruksati event, which is the main one where I symbolically leave my parents' household and leave with my husband, and where basically anyone we remotely know is invited. A couple of days later is the Valima, which is essentially a reception by the new couple. In our case, it's a far smaller event. I would be okay with wearing my mother-in-law's necklace at the Valima, but my mother-in-law had wanted me to wear it at the Ruksati. That is where my hesitation and emotional conflict really come from.
I feel like you just go to your mother-in-law and say, hi, I really appreciate and I'm deeply touched that you have offered me your jewelry and I would love to wear it at this event. However, I have already promised my grandmother that I would wear her jewelry for this event.
Yeah, I think if your mother-in-law really likes you that much and cares about you
So
that
she was
much,
sweet.
if you tell her, hey, I already had a plan to wear my deceased grandmother's necklace.
My cat's name is Karen, saying that jewelry has a significant meaning in Indian wedding ceremonies. So I wonder if it means, like, do we know exactly how much it means?
Oh, so maybe that's it. It's like, she's like, you should wear this because I got it for you and I love you. And if you don't, that would make me feel bad.
Yeah, I mean, there are different like pieces of jewelry. Like you can have like the bangles and stuff, which have a lot of meaning and stuff. But I think regardless, you have the same answer. It's I have
Yeah.
been asked to wear this piece already, and I would love to wear the piece that you've given me at a different event. I think it's kind of the same answer.
But we have some comments here. Comment 1. You'd have been fine if you just told her immediately what you were wearing and why. Comment 2 says, I think it's rather presumptuous to give somebody a necklace less than 2 weeks before their wedding with the expectation they wear it on their wedding day. All of this stuff would have been worked out already. I think she would understand. Comment 3 says, not the a-hole, but talk to your mother-in-law and explain to her that you love what she got you, but you always envisioned and have been planning on wearing your grandmother's necklace. Comment 4, no a-holes here. Could you wear your grandma's necklace for the ceremony and the new one for the reception? OP says, la 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 la, the stuff we already heard. Comment 5, I don't know what the necklaces look like or how big they are, but is it possible to wear both at the same time? Get a little stack going. OP says, I tried that. Hers is quite a bit on its own. Adding my grandma's to it makes the whole thing look gaudy. I think gaudy can be cool.
Yeah, but also no.
Okay. Fair enough. Comment number 6. I'd have a conversation with my mother-in-law and be honest and say what a predicament you're in. If she seems to not be immediately, oh gosh, darling, of course you should wear your grandma's necklace, then ask her opinion on what to do whilst steering towards your grandma's necklace. So it feels like she has made the decision for you, but really it was yours all along. Ooh, we're playing mind games now.
Yeah.
Win! OP says, yeah, I'm going to have to talk to her if I decide to go with my grandma's like I want to. I'll have to break it to her and hope it goes well. I really messed up by letting this drag on since Thursday. I should have spoken up on the spot. Yes, you should have. I've just been delaying it because if I did decide to compromise and go with hers, there is no reason to talk to her at all about this in that case. And there's an update.
Yeah, go talk to your mom and your
Your mama-la.
mama
Talk to your mama-la.
now.
Say,
Don't delay.
my necklace from my grandmama is the one I'm wearing to the Rukshatya Lala. I was trying to continue the
It didn't work.
vibe. It didn't work at
Yeah,
all.
but like you were almost there.
Thanks for all the advice in my last post. I truly appreciate it. I agree with what some had said that I should have just spoken up at the time. I messed up. I just froze and I guessed stupidly. I thought it would all magically go away. I've considered a lot of the comments and their suggestions, so my mother-in-law's necklace is quite a handful on its own. Adding that to my grandma's necklace would leave no breathing room for my neck. It would take away from my bridal dress. But the most important suggestion was the one I'd been avoiding, which was to talk to her directly. I stopped by her place yesterday after doing some shopping. I went by myself. I brought up the issue and thanked her again for her gift. I told her I'm sorry I delayed this, but I had my heart set on wearing my late grandma's necklace for the main wedding event. She asked to see it. I showed her the pictures of how it looked on me with my bridal dress, and she gently said she thought the necklace she was giving had more work done and would bring out my dress better.
She's like, I think it looks bad.
Mine's prettier.
Mine is better. Have we thought about how your grandmother's necklace, your family heirloom, is ugly?
Yeah, have you ever considered that your grandma had some garbage, stank-ass taste?
Your grandma had bad taste and I have good taste.
And it's gonna make your dress look like you're wearing a garbage bag.
And you can choose whatever you want, but that would be the wrong choice.
Yeah, you can choose to look ugly on your wedding, or you can choose to look like the most beautiful person who's ever lived.
You decide. It's all your choice.
And I have no feelings about it either way.
No, completely unbiased.
I said that I get that it looks good, but I'd always wanted to wear it. I was close to her, and this necklace was the only piece of wealth my grandma had taken with them when they had migrated, when my native country had gotten independence in the 40s. I guess she could see I was getting stressed, and she said it was fine. I can wear hers at the reception, the valima. But at the main wedding event, the Ruksati, which has essentially everyone we know invited, we could do a gifting event on the stage where she could give me the entire set and all other gifts they've gotten me, with pictures taken of all of it. I said that would work out great. I hope she didn't take it the wrong way, and it didn't sound like she did, at least. I'm glad I cleared it, because this had been at the back of my mind along with all the other wedding stresses. So at least it's one less thing to worry about. Thank you for the help. And we have some comments here. But before we do...
I feel like it went well. I mean, regardless of her insulting your grandmother's jewelry, seems like it went well. I don't know.
One of our commenters, Shani OP, says this is a Muslim wedding, not Hindu.
Oh, everyone else in the comments lied. Thank you, Johnny OP, for correcting.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure Pakistan got independence
so then
in the
maybe
40s.
Yeah.
Or was that the
makes
50s?
sense.
I don't know.
That does make sense. I feel like
Yes.
there's a lot of overlap in like certain cultural things, though,
Yeah,
in terms
I
of
mean,
like Indian
Pakistan
and
is-
Pakistani winnings.
right next to
Yeah.
India. Comment 1. I'm glad it worked out in a way that you're comfortable with, and it sounds like she was concerned about your perspective too, so that's a big positive in your new mother-in-law, daughter-in-law relationship. Comment 2. Maybe send her a thoughtful gift or note that again tells her how important she is and how excited you are to be a part of their family, how much you appreciated her thoughtful compromise suggestion, etc. Spread some honey so things continue to be smooth. Think honey makes things sticky.
That's true.
Comment 3. Exactly what I thought it was. She wanted to show off as the generous mother-in-law in front of everyone. Comment 4. I don't like how she said her necklace would look better than your grandma's, and the fact that you had to justify to her your reasons for preferring your grandma's necklace. And the fact that fiancé also tried to guilt you to go with his mom's necklace over your grandma's. Something to watch out for the future. You are his wife now. He should be your number one cheerleader, not his mom's. Don't really think that's what was going on, but anyway. But I'm glad your future mother-in-law gave in the end. Also, learn from this for future interactions with her. If something is important to you, fight for it. Be it your kids, their names, who gets to be there in the hospital when they're born, or how soon you host visitors to see your newborn, or where you spend all your holidays, etc. All issues that could potentially cause issues with in-laws, especially if you're not on the same page with your spouse. Have a lovely wedding.
Aw.
Comment 5. It's a little worrying that she still pushed you, but thankfully she relented in the end. You're probably going to have to be vigilant with your mother-in-law in the future. I think she would absolutely stomp a boundary if you let her. By the way, you can stomp your way on over to your favorite podcast platform to listen to full episodes with stories just like this.
Stomp, 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 stomp.
That is what that sounds like.
Mhm.
And you just need to mosey on down to iHeartRadio or Apple Podcasts or Spotify, wherever,
And stomp.
and search
Two
OK
songs
Story Time is what you should search.
Search that up, man. Search it up.
There is a final comment here, a 6th and final comment.
Oh, boy.
And here it is. I think you got good advice and a good outcome, but in the future, you're going to get more nuanced opinions from subreddits with folks who understand the cultural aspect. I'm assuming you're having an Islamic wedding. My understanding is the rukhsati is when you symbolically leave home for your in-laws, and gifts can be a part of this as a way to welcome you to the family. It is a totally appropriate option to resolve this, and that seems to be lost on people. It's not the same as, say, a mother-in-law standing up in a Western Catholic wedding reception to hand over jewelry. There's also a cultural element to jewelry here. Gold jewelry has historically been a way for women to hold their own wealth. It is a safety net and a way for autonomy in bad situations. Your grandmother keeping this necklace is so symbolic, and it makes sense why it means so much. Your mother-in-law wanting to give you a necklace is also cultural and is very specifically a gift to you. It is also a part of the same history. That history is all really important because you weren't doing this to be difficult, and she wasn't doing this to be a boundary-stomping villain. You were both attempting to honor traditions that affect you both, and you came to a solution. All good things.
I agree. I feel like there was no issue here, except I didn't really like the husband being like, well, my mom's going to hate you forever. But that's like your choice.
He didn't really say that.
He kind of did, though. He was kind of like, it might affect your relationship with my mom literally forever, which I feel like it was so completely fine.
All good things.
Yeah.
And just like all good things, they must come to an end.
True.
And the story has done that. I want to move my cat out of the family home, and everyone is freaking out.
Stop freaking out. Calm down. Calm down.
Relax, relax, relax. Hi. This issue has led to fights in my house this past week, and at this point, I thought I would ask here. I'm going to get married in a few months and currently live with my parents. 6 years ago, my aunt had gifted me my cat for my 18th birthday when he was a kitten. She knew I loved cats and I'd always wanted one, so that was her gift, and it was the best gift I've ever received. By the way, this comes from user lawfulnessdo8961, and if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OKStorytime subreddit. I'm Dakota.
I'm Angie.
And we're here to give good advice goofily, but we don't have all the answers. So let us know what your answers would be down in the comments. And OP says, I was the one who organized his diet, litter trained him, named him Casper, got him to respond to his name, had him snuggle with me, had huge arguments with my parents in the initial days over him and defended him. Over time, Casper became an integral part of our family. Last week, we were just planning on how to start moving my stuff to my fiance's place, and I also brought up his cat tree. My younger sister was like, why would you take his cat tree? You're not taking Casper. I said, of course I am. He's my cat. And my fiance loves cats too. I'd already discussed this with him. My parents too were against taking him. And my sister started full-on sobbing. I was beside myself, and we had an argument where I told them Casper was a gift for me, and I had raised him when he was a kitten and brought up to my parents how they used to say he's too much work and a mess in those earlier days. Since then, whenever the topic has been brought up, my sister gets heated. My parents low-key side with her, saying Casper is used to this house and cats are creatures of habit. I've told them they have 3 months to make their peace with the fact that Casper is coming with me.
Wow.
Am I the a-hole? I mean, it's your cat.
Yeah, it is your cat.
If that's the way they're going to react, you can't really control that.
Yeah.
I mean, how far away are you moving from home? I think that's, because there is some truth to like, moving a cat out of their known environment can freak them out, but they can
Yeah.
also adjust. Like,
They totally can.
it's not,
People have done it before. They've moved with animals and cats.
yeah, it's not an impossible task that's going to irreparably like damage
Yeah.
Casper. But
That's tough.
let's see what this edit says. To address some frequent questions, my college was in the same city we live, as is my job. I commuted to college from home. And no, my fiance and I have not been living together. The first time my dad and I took him to the vet, he was registered under my name. Until I got a job after college, I would do his expenditures with my pocket money, and my parents would also pay. Since I've been working, I do the bulk of spending on him, but my parents do help too. My sister is 17. And yes, we'll be living in the same city. She'll be seeing him often. It's the fact that my parents are siding with her, and not even just to support her, but on their own accord. They too have been saying Casper should stay here. I'll try to bring up to them adopting a new cat, potentially. And we have some comments here asking for info. At the end of the day, what is best for the cat? If Casper is your shadow when you're around and would pine without you, then the only decision is to take Casper with you. If Casper is now closer to your parents or sister, or prefers to hang out in a certain spot in the house over and above spending time with you, then Casper should stay at the house. Does Casper ever get anxious or show signs of separation anxiety or depression when you're not at home? Like if you go away for a few days? What about if Casper gets taken away from the house, like for trips to the vet? How does Casper cope in those scenarios? Also, does your fiance have any other animals that Casper would have to acclimate to? Has your fiance spent much time with Casper? Is Casper comfortable with them? If you can get a clear answer from asking these questions, then this should make the decision easy. OP replies, thanks a lot for this, and a bit begrudgingly, because you've made me rethink some stuff, lol. I love Casper, and I know he'll be happy with me, and I know my family loves him too, and he knows he's loved. I will think over this. There's a second comment. Not the a-hole. Get your aunt to confirm Casper was a gift for you. End of the issue. Casper is your property. He's attached to you, not your parents' home. He will adapt just fine to your new place as long as you're there. Your sister can get her own cat if that's what the family wants. And there's another comment. Who is Casper's person? Who does he snuggle with and meow for and sleep with, etc.? We have 2 cats, and they have chosen different people in our family to be their person. Will the other house have other pets Casper has to live with? Will he have to leave any other pets that he's grown up with this whole time? All of this should go into determining if Casper's home is with you at the new place or the place he has lived his whole life. Fourth comment says, not the a-hole. What do those people not understand about a gift? About your property? Is there a chance your aunt would weigh in on this in your favor? Cats are creatures of habit. Well, they're also clever, adaptable creatures. Last year, I happily rehomed a family of 3 cats. They weren't mine, but to a new owner and different premises. It's low of your family to pretend they're worried about the cat's happiness when they just want to steal your aunt's gift. I think that might be a little bit of a jump. Maybe they are just worried about the cat. Maybe there's a little selfishness there, but
Yeah.
I don't know.
That commenter was kind of talking about the situation as if this was like a white elephant gift. And they're like, yeah. I mean, they want to steal your gift that was clearly bought for you. It's like, well, I get that like it being her cat and her gift is important, but I don't know, talking about it like that makes it seem like, well, it's not just a gift anymore. It's not.
Yeah, it's not like a lamp.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's a cat.
Yeah.
Here's a wild idea, though. They could get themselves a cat of their own and keep their mitts off of yours. OP says, yes, I can 100% have my aunt confirm Casper was a gift for me. She used to have a cat when I was little, and I would be so happy to go to her place when I was little to see her cat. That's why she gifted me Casper. A fifth comment says, if your parents don't object to getting a cat for your sister, then why not take her to an adoption center and help her pick out a kitty of her own? Make it a bonding activity between the two of you. Promise your sister that you'll send her weekly updates on Casper, and remind your sister that she still gets to visit both of you, so no one is going away forever, and she can do the same for her kitten/cat. This is a big change in both of your lives, and sis may be having trouble adjusting. How old is your sister? Well, we've got that. That's 17.
Yep.
Right now, I think that little sister is probably feeling a bit down. You are currently the center of attention with all of the wedding planning, and now you're taking her friend, but you can help her make a new one. OP says my sister is 17. And yes, we'll be living in the same city. She'll be seeing him often. It's the fact that my parents are siding with her, and not even just to support her, but doing it of their own accord, that they too have been saying Casper should stay here. But I'll try to bring up adopting a new cat. Comment 6 says, well, who takes the cat to the vet? OP says, any one of us do. But even that, like back then I researched the vaccines he'll need, which vet we should go to, and took him to the vet with my dad. Now it's any one of us when it's his date for his regular shots. Yeah, it does kind of feel like it's over the past 6 years. Yes, it's your cat, but it's also kind of like a member of the family as a whole.
Yeah, so it makes sense that your sister would be that sad and that your parents wouldn't want to give up the cat. It makes a lot of sense, but I mean, I do wonder, because did OP ever really answer like who the cat kind of likes more?
I don't think so.
Yeah.
But I think the answer might not be in their favor.
Yeah.
Maybe the cat likes everybody. Picks different people. Who knows?
It's very possible.
But we do have an update. Thank you for the feedback. I took comfort in the fact that I was well within my rights to take Casper with me and was determined to do that. A few comments, one in particular, had stressed that I should make sure to do what's best for Casper. Despite our arguments, I got the feeling my parents and sister, or my parents at least, had accepted that Casper would be coming with me. My dad had talked about how I should introduce him briefly to my fiance's house in advance, so it seems like they had accepted it. One thing that I had been asked to consider was who his person was. And while as a kitten, Casper was only bonded to me, especially when my parents were still against him, he is a family cat now. He'll sometimes curl up on my bed when sleeping, sometimes on my sister's. When my mom's making food, he'll sit like a loaf next to her on the counter while she goes over the recipe with him. And as far as laps go, anyone is fair game for him. My mom will often hold him in her lap while she's watching the news and talk to him about what's happening. That's cute.
That's really cute.
Whenever my dad goes to the meat shop, he especially gets liver for him too, which we boil and feed him. And my sister loves dressing him up, which he does without resistance. So I just couldn't say Casper was only bonded to me and not them. Nor could I say that I'm the only one who is bonded to him. But by the way, you can bond with us by listening to full episodes with stories just like this on your favorite podcast platforms like iHeartRadio, Spotify, or Apple Podcasts. Just search OK Storytime, and you can listen all the livelong day. But we have just a little bit left of this story. I'm kind of leaning towards like letting the cat stay there and then you visit Casper.
I'm kind of thinking that too.
It sounds like Casper gets a lot of enrichment from not just you, but everyone around him.
Yeah, and that would be, I mean, I think the cat would be fine adapting to like a new area, but it might be different adapting to like not having more people around, like not having one person around versus 3. I think that makes a difference. But I get OP's idea of like, you know, if she was gifted that cat, then in her mind that's always her cat.
Like,
you know?
It's my cat, and I get you guys all like him, and he likes you too, but he's mine.
Yeah,
he's mine. So if I leave, I want to take him.
Right. And I like the idea of getting them a new cat. Like now you can be like your aunt and gift your sister her own cat, and then she can move out whenever that happens and take the cat with her.
Yeah. And maybe, you know, on the flip side of that, maybe you could adopt a cat.
True.
You know?
Yeah.
Maybe you leave Casper there and adopt a new little baby boy.
Maybe everyone gets a cat. Everyone gets their own cat.
Look under your seat right now. There's a cat. There's a cat there. It's for you.
There's no cat here.
I'm sorry. It's okay. It's okay. But let's finish this story. It is a bit unfair to my fiance, but what made me decide was when I was talking to him and he said we could make a cat door for the cat when we move in.
Oh.
It's stupid to nitpick, but I can't remember the last time Casper was called the cat by us. And we don't let him out. In fact, we had called someone to make sure any holes or openings were all sealed. So I've decided to leave Casper with my family.
Aww.
I think it's best for him. I can't imagine how it will feel to be without him. He is my baby, and just typing this has gotten me crying. But I'll visit him every 2 days. I haven't told my family yet in case I break and change my mind, but I will tell them soon. Thank you. And we've got some more comments here. Comment 1 says, that is smart. It sounds like your fiance's heart is in the right place, but he's still basically a stranger to Casper and vice versa. Under the circumstances, it makes sense to leave Casper in his current home with multiple beloved family members rather than a huge disruption of a new home and new person to get used to, especially since you and your fiance will hopefully be spending a lot of time focusing on each other. OP says, thanks. I'm so torn between wanting him to never forget me, but also not wanting him to miss me. But yeah, I know he's going to be safe and loved here, and that's what matters in the end. Comment 2 says, I think you're so kind to Casper to give him the situation that seems best in the home and with the people that are most familiar. I really hope that you get to have another kitty of your own in your new home one day. A third comment says, it might be a good idea for you and your partner to adopt a cat. I had to leave my cat at my parents' when I got married as I was moving overseas, and while technically possible, the strain would have been too much for her. In the last 21 years, we have had 3 cats, though the first one ended up living with my in-laws as he had bonded more with my father-in-law than us when we lived with them. But having a cat that belongs to your old family and a cat that belongs to your new one is probably better. Make sure you and your partner are on the same page regarding indoor and outdoor cats, though. And a fourth comment 4 says, please feel at peace for knowing that Casper is in a loving home with people who are always there for him. It's a good chance that between your dad and your mom and your sister, he will never be alone, never wondering whether he is secure. And that's the end of that story.
My fiance refused to dance at our wedding party, and it's a deal breaker for me.
You sound like a stick in the mud.
My boyfriend, 30 male, and I, 25 female, have been together for 5 years. We're engaged, planning a wedding, and he won't dance. Says he doesn't want to. He's even pushing for choosing a venue that has no capacity for dancing at all.
Sorry.
What is this?
The guy from Dirty Dancing?
Is this Footloose?
That's what I meant. Shoot.
By the way, this comes from Throwaway Wedding Dance. If you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OKStorytime subreddit. I'm Carly.
I'm Sophia.
And I'm a dancer. I'm Keon.
And we're here to give good advice, goofily, but we don't have all the answers. We only know what we would do. So let us know what you do in the comments. As OP says, at our wedding, I know I meant to offer backstory about our relationship, but this is it. Our entire relationship in a nutshell. I want to do something because it's important to me and would take mere minutes of his time, and he won't do it because it's lame or boring or annoying. He is physically and mentally capable of dancing, he just doesn't want to. The same way he doesn't want to do the dishes or cook dinner or clean.
Wait, that's totally different. Wait.
That's so different.
That's
Does he do
different.
those things, though? Like, he doesn't want to, but he does them? Or he doesn't want to and he doesn't do
I don't
any of
think your
those?
fiance does anything.
I think your fiance sucks.
The second he wants to do something, we do it. No questions asked. I learned to ski for him. I put up with his family. I host parties I don't want to for people I don't like because he wants me to. And yes, he does dance at those. I do all I can to make sure his life is improved by having me in it because I want him to be happy. And I have asked for one effing thing, to dance with my husband at our wedding over a year from now. And he doesn't want to. And any push for him to do it leads to him saying I'm pressuring him to do something he doesn't want to do. I do love him. He's a good partner. Can you name one good thing, please?
Yeah, please.
And we want the same things. And we've been together for years. And he loves me. But he won't dance with me at our effing wedding. How do I tell him that this is important to me? And I need him to do this for me without making him feel pressured. We have some relevant comments.
I don't know. He's done in my eyes. He's gone. If you can't dance, you're out. You don't even have to be good.
Commenter 1 says, the same way he doesn't want to do the dishes or cook dinner or clean, that's a bigger deal breaker for me. OP downvoted. I can live with that. It's annoying, but he does earn slightly more and works an extra half an hour each day plus commute while I work from home. And he's terrible at all forms of housework, so I figured that this was just something I would have to live with and accommodated for it. Commenter 2, sounds like this is just the last straw for you. You'd probably be less upset if he actually did anything else for you. No dishes or cleaning? Does he contribute to the relationship at all? Does he make you feel loved? Or just codependent? OP says, I get relationships take compromise, but I feel like I'm the only one compromising and he always gets what he wants. At that point, that's not compromising. That's being a pushover. And I don't want to be a pushover. Yeah, if he was saying, babe, I will do something else with you on the day. I just really don't want to dance. Or if he was doing literally anything else, so I wasn't the only one making compromises, then I'd say that it was fine. But this is like the biggest thing I've ever asked him for. And it's a 2-minute dance on our wedding day, a year from now. And he's still saying no. And his only reasoning, when pushed to give a single reason, is that it's dumb.
You're dumb.
And if it's dumb to him, then okay, but skiing is dumb to me, and I do that for him. Same with camping, rock climbing, surfing, and whatever else he asks me to do. And this is the one thing I've asked from him, and it's just upsetting that he's so dismissive when I would never refuse to do something for him on the basis that I don't want to. Commenter 3 says, I understand you love him, but do you like him?
Yeah, that's a good question.
Can you happily picture yourself sacrificing your happiness, your mental well-being, your time just to not upset a grown man over the fact that he doesn't want to do the dishes? It sounds more like you're his mom, to be honest. Whether he's aware of what he's doing or not, I think this is the moment where you realize that no matter how much you give for him, he won't do the same for you, even if it's small. I would consider postponing the wedding until you are on equal footing to the point you can ask him to do his part and you feel like even your smallest requests are met with respect. Opie says, I like him most of the time. He is charming and funny and we're really compatible, but he can be such a pain in the butt when he wants to be. I do 95% of the housework because he either doesn't want to do things or he does them so badly that I have to fix it.
That's called weaponized incompetence.
I feel like his mother some days because of that. But then he apologizes and puts in an effort around the house, and eventually he slips back again. Commenter 4 says, ask him what the difference between dancing at the parties you have been at versus your wedding. Why doesn't he feel comfortable? What's the difference? Opie says, I already asked him that, thinking that it was the amount of attention or the setting, or if he thought he'd be a mess on the day. I suggested compromises to help with these potential issues, like us dancing alone for the first 30 seconds to a minute and then having other couples come to the floor. Or letting him choose the song. Or literally just standing in one spot and swaying without moving our feet. But he just says he doesn't want to, and dancing at weddings is dumb or lame.
You're dumb and lame, and I'm not marrying you. And that's it. That's what you should say to him. I have no other thoughts. Don't marry this man. Gross.
Commenter 5 says, is he a good partner? In what way? He loves me and we want the same things, like kids. And we're compatible in most other areas.
You can't just say he loves me and we want the same things like kids. A lot of people want kids. You can find a person who wants kids and also is not this guy.
Commenter 6 says, do you love him or is he all you've known? Opie says, he's not all I've known, but he's all I have. I was married before from 17 to 20 to a harmful guy, and my fiance treats me so much better than my ex.
Okay, that is a bad bar. We
It's
can't
a
compare the
low
bar. We can't
We've
compare the bar
jumped
to crap.
From like absolute
Yeah.
like worst to like worst of the best.
Yeah. You're like, oh, this pasta here is like moldy, but it's not a piece of crap, so I'll eat it?
Really
No.
stale past the expiration date.
It's like cheese is
But it's
molds, technically,
edible.
if you think about it.
I don't have many friends, and my family is complicated. My fiance is my person. Commenter 7 says, OP, have you seen him dance? I am willing to slow dance with a partner, briefly, and that is it. I absolutely hate the way dancing makes me feel. Stupid and uncoordinated. And would never do anything but a slow dance, even with nobody looking. Opie says, yes, he dances regularly, alone or with people, including me, and is often getting me to dance when I don't want to. He attends and hosts parties all the time, which he dances at. If he never danced and hated it, I wouldn't be this upset. We have an update.
Yeah, I want you to end your relationship with this guy.
Or
please.
at least make him start pitching in.
Or
And if he
cooking or
doesn't,
cleaning.
then bye.
Bye. Yeah.
Update. 3 days later. So my ex-fiance got dragged through the effing mud on my first post, and I say that in the most grateful way possible.
I love to see it.
I was alternating between defending him and resignation in the comments, but I ultimately decided to hash this out with him. thinking that if I restated how important dancing at our wedding was to me, along with a few other issues the first post brought up, such as me doing the overwhelming majority of the housework, and made clear that I was thinking of leaving, he might fully get the gravity of the situation, and he would either shape up or ship out. And I think that from the tone of this post and the title, you can tell which one he chose to do. He was actually angry that I dared to tell him I needed things to be more balanced between us. I said it needed to be give and take on both sides, not just me giving and him taking. And he said, I can't just change everything about us right before over a year out our wedding. He took the ring back and went to stay with his family. The breakup happened on the same day as my post, so the 1st of October. I felt really lonely the last couple of days, so yesterday, the 3rd, I asked a few girlfriends to come over tonight, the 4th, for a meal or drink, or a movie or whatever.
And dancing?
And dancing. 2 of the 4 people I invited didn't respond at all. The 3rd was really hostile. And the 4th asked if I was aware that my ex was telling people he caught me cheating on him.
Whoa.
And showed me some screenshots of an Instagram and Facebook page he made. Okay,
This
so he's
guy is
just as bad as your first guy.
Awful. Yeah. Awful.
He's harmful in emotional ways.
Mm-hmm.
I have a childhood friend, a guy who I reconnected with last year. We never dated, but we were always close and fooled around once or twice as teens. And my ex had said he was fine with us being friends, but now he's saying that we were sleeping together. I've told the friends I contacted what really happened, and while 2 of them have accepted that, the other 2 have left me on red.
Well, you know what? But their loss. If your friends were so willing to believe your ex, then
I wonder, too, what level that is of just, like,
Yeah.
I just don't want to be involved with either of them.
yeah, maybe.
Like,
It
they
could be
might not
that.
even be on your ex's side. They might just
Yeah.
be like, whoa.
Whoa, I don't
Whoa.
want to know. Yeah.
I've not even checked on my own social media because I have no clue what I'll find. I might need advice again. Any ideas on what to do about this? Regarding my ex, my friend who's being accused, or the mutual friends that my ex has apparently already told? And by the way, I'm going to tell you that you can listen to more full episodes with stories just like this. Just go to Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or iHeartRadio and search up OK Storytime. We have some comments left, but
I don't know. I mean, I wouldn't necessarily tell you to go to Facebook or Instagram or whatever and try and fight on there.
Yeah, I think that's one of the things where, like, as people
Yeah.
come to you or as you reach out to people,
Yes.
that you can do that off social media.
Completely agree.
That will show to your character more, and people will realize pretty fast.
Yeah, like, oh, this guy's going online. Maybe not the best person.
Commenter 1 says, wow! As hurtful as it is, you dodged a bullet. While the division of labor at home could have been brought up sooner, his reaction was all you needed to see how your life would have turned out. He couldn't do something as simple as dance with you at your wedding. While I know a ton of people who don't like to dance or be the center of attention, they always were willing to dance with their partner at their wedding because it meant so much to their spouse. Because compromising with your significant other is what you do. I'm sure there are things you didn't want to do, but acquiesce for your partner. What he did as far as accusing you of sleeping with this friend is inexcusable. He cannot hold his own self accountable for the failures in your relationship. Your friend should know your character and have responded as so. If they didn't, they weren't friends, or they didn't know you as well as you thought they did. Don't worry about what those people think. You've spoken your piece, and there's not much you can do about their reaction. You know your truth, and that's what matters. Your ex is behaving like a child, and I hope you can move on and find someone who is more emotionally intelligent. I'm sorry you're going through this, but I'm glad you didn't marry him. Your future sounds like it would have been a nightmare. Opie says the dancing was a huge issue for me, purely because he loves dancing. He does it all the time at parties, including ones we host for his friends, even when I don't feel like hosting. I learned to ski for him. I hate skiing. Meanwhile, he loves dancing and wouldn't do it at our own dang wedding. If he hated it normally, I would have been fine not doing it, but he does it constantly. I think he knows how unreasonable he's being, so he decided to make this BS up so he's the good guy to our friends.
Absolutely.
Yeah. I'm glad too. I was expecting to be devastated if we ever split, but when he took the ring, I felt almost lighter? I can't really explain it. Not better exactly, but lighter. Commenter 2 says dancing in public is one of the things that can be horribly mortifying for some people. If he didn't want to dance, it's cruel to force him to dance. Imagine a woman who is horribly embarrassed by wearing a dress, but you force her to when she's adamantly opposed. That wouldn't be acceptable. So why is it okay to shame a man for a genuine phobia? Did you read the story?
I don't think you read the story.
Opie says, because he dances constantly. We met in a nightclub where we danced with each other. He dances at every party he attends and that we host. 9 times out of 10, he's the one who pressures me to dance. The one time I said that I felt really strongly about dancing with him because it was at our wedding, he refused. Why did Opie's ex say he won't dance at the wedding? Because it's lame and dumb. And that's the end of the story.
Man. There we go. I'm glad
There
you're
we go.
not in that relationship anymore.
Yeah, you knew what you had to do.
Oh, yeah. Now you can dance like you wanna.
Yeah.
And leave
Go out
those
and
friends
dance.
behind. Because if they won't dance, then they're no friend of yours.
And no fun.
My bridesmaid duties cost more than my rent, so I walked away.
Yeah, that's too much.
My 28 female friend, 30 female, let's call her B, is getting married to her long-distance boyfriend, 28 male, of 6 months.
Oh, fun. Wait, they've only dated for 6 months?
6 months.
Okay.
By the way, this comes from Amber Doggy 1234, and if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OKStorytime subreddit. I'm Angie.
I am Riley, Angie's boyfriend.
That's correct, and we're here to give good advice goofily, but we don't have all the answers. We just know what we would do in these situations, so let us know what you would do in the comments. And OP says, for background, I live in a city about a 16-hour drive away from where B lives. However, the groom also lives in a different city from both myself and the bride, somewhere in between the both of us. She will be getting married on her groom's farm in a different state about 6 hours away from me.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, wow. Couple of days later, all crap breaks loose when B's first list of requirements emerge in the group chat. Are we ready to hear them?
Not a bridezilla.
These are requirements too.
Not optional?
Doesn't sound like it. Makeup and hair must be professionally done and paid for by bridesmaids. $200 for both, by the way. We must purchase nude flats and we may not wear heels, which is around $30 to $50, as she is worried that she and her groom will look shorter than us. That's funny. We must wear the jewelry of her choice. To be fair to her, she said this would be a borrowed gift to us once she decides what look she's going for. Nails must be bare or in the mauve color that she has selected for her dress. The dress must be from the local boutique, which is a 16-hour drive away or a 3-hour plane flight away from me, and must be floor length with the straps. The boutique doesn't ship, but my sister is picking it up and trying it on and sending pictures. I texted her explaining that I am traveling for the wedding and I'm happy to pay the accommodation, airfare, and for the dress, but if she was requiring professional makeup and specific non-heeled shoes, that she should pay for the extra things that she wants. I explained that I am happy to pay for the usual things, but that my budget wouldn't allow for professional hair and makeup and new shoes. She said she would speak to her groom about allowing me to stay on the farm property, but that the makeup was non-negotiable. Fast forward again to today. B texts me and says she will have to renege on the offer that she made to me to let me stay in the farmhouse on the night after the wedding. She reserved an Airbnb in the city, which is $200 a night for the wedding party. However, she says she will only be paying for the night prior to the wedding. B tells me that she thinks that I should stay in the Airbnb that she booked since there is a 2-night minimum and she would like the money back.
What?
So she's saying, no, actually, you can't stay in the farmhouse. We have a different place for the wedding party specifically.
That you were required to be at.
Yeah. I'm not going to
What?
be in that house because I'm going to be with my mans, but you will have to be there for 2 nights and I want my money back for it. What?
Okay.
I politely declined and said that I would try to find accommodations in the city for the night after the wedding since there are some reasonable places to stay. I asked if there would be anyone to transport me back to the city since no cabs or public transportation will go there. B says that she will not arrange transportation for me unless I stay in the $200 Airbnb and pay her back for the cost of it.
What?
Oh my gosh.
Dude.
She said I may bring a tent or I have to figure it out myself. You can go camping for my wedding? Girl.
That's crazy. Oh my gosh.
That is crazy. I'm more than willing to pay for the dress, transportation, etc. The cost of being in her wedding right now is $1,256, including all travel expenses, the dress, and the extras she's asked for. Am I the a-hole? And we do have an update, but what would you say?
Going to be transparent right now.
Yeah.
For both of us to travel to North Carolina,
Yep.
plane tickets alone, that is how much it costs.
Yep.
I also had to buy a suit. I'm getting my brother a gift. Weddings are expensive. I am the best man of his wedding. I don't have to pay for accommodations or anything.
That's nice.
But it's going to be around like $1,700 for me, just for me and you to go to my
Yeah.
brother's wedding. But if we split that,
Obviously less.
it's what, like, oh God, it's like 800, 850. Weddings are just expensive if
They are
if you
expensive.
don't live there. I live across the country from my brother. Plane tickets are the most, but that's just sort of how being in a
Like,
wedding is.
Yeah. To be fair, those could have been cheaper if they were just booked a little ahead of time.
But for one person, oh,
Yeah.
I don't even think you've accounted food or, buying little
Yeah.
things like that.
And a gift. We haven't accounted for a gift either,
It's going to be like $1,500.
which is a lot of money. And to be fair, I mean, yes, I think a lot of these things, like airfare, like housing accommodations, stuff like that, that is going to cost money regardless, whether you're in the wedding party or not. The extras and stuff, it is hard too, because I think SNL made like a skit about being asked to be a bridesmaid. It's like responsibility and cost that you can't say no to, because how can you say no to being a bridesmaid?
Yeah.
You can't really do that. But at the same time, it's kind of like, well, yeah, it does cost money. It costs money to buy the dress, because that's a requirement. Buy matching shoes. I mean, that also kind of goes along with the dress if there's requirements there. I feel like she doesn't need to care about their nails. She can relax on that. And the makeup, I think she can also relax on. She doesn't need to worry about that. But
It's a lot going on here.
yeah, it's just
I don't
tough.
like the attitude of the bridezilla though.
I think honestly that's the biggest difference, is because even though like most weddings do just cost a lot of money when they're doing all of these things, if the bride is like demanding it, makes the whole thing so much worse than just like asking,
Are you going to get professionally done makeup?
probably.
Really?
I don't know. I mean, I do a
I
good
think
job
you
of
look
doing
great
my own
now.
makeup.
I don't think you need professionally done.
It depends. I have thought about like there are some artistic makeup people that I follow online. I thought it might be cool to do something like cool and artistic for a wedding, but I've not decided.
You could go like this.
Got time.
We could just find a top for your skirt and
Yeah.
take it to the courthouse.
I did actually make a joke to Savannah today that like actually he thinks that his brother's getting married this weekend. It's actually us.
Really?
I joked about it. I'm wearing a white skirt, by the way. I joked about it.
I mean, we could
Not what's happening.
if you want.
Not this weekend. But anyway, OP has an update here. Since one user said they would summon an internet ghost to haunt me if I was a bridesmaid in this wedding, here's the unsolicited update. After taking a day or two to think it through, I texted my friend and explained to her the following summarized. I think she's a great friend, and we have a lot of great memories together. I was excited to make a new one on her big day. That being said, I couldn't afford the expenses that she required, such as professional hair, makeup, specific shoes, and the chosen Airbnb. I explained that the $1,200 it would cost to attend is over my budget, and I simply could not afford the things that she's asking for.
Okay, that's fair.
I don't want to put her in a position where she would be compromising on things that she wanted to accommodate my budget, so the best thing for me to do was to bow out of being a bridesmaid right now so she can have ample time to find a replacement. I also explained that I had some concerns with how I was going to get off the farm after the night of the wedding, since she said that she would only offer transport if I stayed in the shared $200 Airbnb. She was unsure who else would be staying there. I said I have to be in court for a trial 2 days after the wedding, and while I'm usually very flexible, I couldn't leave that part to chance since my career is important to me. By the way, it is important to me that you guys would listen to full episodes of stories just like this one on Spotify, iHeartRadio, Apple Podcasts, or your favorite podcast platform. Just search OK Storytime. There's a little bit more to this story.
I don't like her attitude. I'm only going to pick you up if you, I don't know, pitch in $200 a night for this place.
That is crazy. I think that's the part that irks me the most.
I think the makeup, you have to have makeup, you have to wear this. I don't like this. It's getting into the superficial material things I have not once seen in this story or got a hint of. I'm so glad you're going to be a part of my special day, and I want you to be a part of my special day. That hasn't happened.
Yeah, not that we've known of. I mean, hopefully there's been
But
some of that.
Have you got any hints of that?
Well, I mean, the fact that she's a bridesmaid at all. But we also haven't had too much of the story and too much from B's perspective for that, though.
Okay,
I don't
but the
see how that would come
bridesmaid,
up.
I understand monetarily you probably can't do much. We haven't gotten the bridesmaid thing. But if I was the bride, I'd be like, girl, look, I can help with this. I just want you there.
That
I
is
want you
true.
to support me.
That is true. She did have a chance to say something like that.
But no,
We haven't heard about that.
you have to be bridesmaid. I will only help you out if you do X, Y, and Z for me.
That's tough.
Like, go take out a loan real quick.
Literally. I know. And the fact about like transporting from the farm, it's like, girl, you're the only one I know there. I'm assuming you're just going to leave me there at the farm. I know it's your wedding. I know you are figuring out all of this like stuff. You can't figure that out for everyone. But at the same time, I mean, hello.
And I'm sorry, you're getting married after 6 months of doing long distance?
That's true.
Oh,
I do wonder too. So public transport can't go out to where the wedding is. I do wonder though about the state's car rentals options though, because what if OP
we
can
can't
just
get into that.
that's what I'm thinking is an option of like
Oh, I see.
of like something that she could do for transport, rent a car.
That's a good point. That's a good
Obviously
point.
that would add more cost, so that is an issue, but it's an option.
Could you save money at a cheaper place?
Yeah, exactly. So there's a little bit more to the story. We get B's response. B responded with the following, and this is summarized. She has been very busy planning her move, doing report cards, she's a teacher, and planning the wedding. She felt that since I am a lawyer, I should be able to afford everything that she's asking for. For reference, I am a very new government lawyer and have massive student debt. She deserves a bridesmaid who will meet her expectations and be able to support her. I'm not sure how to respond to her or if I will, but I do think I dodged a bullet, or at least a trip to Crazy Town. Thank you so much to all of you who convinced me to not attend this disaster. You have saved me $1,200 and 6 months of horror. Okay, wait a second. So to me, that last response sounded like, I thought I'd be able to afford it, or I thought you'd be able to afford it, but I guess you just can't be a bridesmaid then.
That's crazy.
But also, though,
Ugh.
OP offered that. I mean, I'm sure with her tone and whatever.
That's why you call. You don't do this over text. You call people.
Yeah, it's true. But from what we got, it honestly doesn't seem that bad of a response from B. It seems like, well, yeah, I shouldn't be a bridesmaid. I should just attend the wedding, like OP suggested. But she didn't say that.
I don't like it.
She didn't say that, though. It sounds like OP's just not going. So that was
Dang.
probably just implied
I don't like
from
it.
her thing.
Anyways, that could have been handled a lot better.
See, and that's why I always imagined like having a lot of money before I get married is because I don't want to put my bridesmaids in this situation. I don't want to put them in the situation of like, oh, you have to do this, you have to do that. I want to be able to like pay for it,
Yeah.
at least in like some capacity. But we'll get there when we get there. But that's the end of that story. We've got another one coming right up.
Our siblings are excluded from our wedding, and my mother-in-law is not happy about it.
That doesn't sound great.
My fiance and I are in the very early stages of wedding planning. We just got engaged at Thanksgiving, but there was one thing we always knew for certain. We both wanted a small and intimate wedding party. Our guest list is roughly 72 people total, including ourselves, the photographer, and the officiant. By the way, this comes from user ILikeTurtles24. And if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OK Storytime subreddit. I'm Dakota.
I'm Carly.
And we're here to give a little good advice, goofily, because we don't know all the answers. We only know what we would do, so let us know what you would do down in the comments. And OP says, between us, I have 2 siblings, and he has 1 full sibling and 4 half siblings. Because of that, we mutually decided to only have a maid of honor and a best man. If we included our maid of honor, best man, siblings, and close friends, our wedding party would easily reach around 12 people, which felt overwhelmingly large for what we envisioned. On top of that, every wedding I have ever been part of has felt like a huge financial burden. Paying for hair, makeup, dresses, shoes, jewelry, bachelorette trips, and everything else adds up quickly.
Her secret wedding is going to be full nudist in the forest.
Yes, no clothes, no food. We just scavenge bark and leaves.
And sap.
I honestly thought people would be relieved by our decision. Instead of including family in the formal wedding party, our plan was to have them wear a designated color. It does not have to be an exact match, but for example, everyone in the family would wear green. During the processional, after the bridesmaids and groomsmen walk down, we planned to have both families walk together and take their seats in the first 2 rows. We also decided not to have flower girls or ring bearers. There are children on both sides of the family, and we did not want to choose between them or risk a toddler tantrum on the day of the wedding. Instead, we decided to have the longest married couple in attendance, which happens to be my grandparents, who have been married for 60 years, toss petals and hold the rings. Yeah, no, that's pretty nice.
Adorable.
That's pretty nice. You did have, ring bearers, a ring bearer and a flower girl. They were just your grandparents.
That's adorable.
My future mother-in-law and father-in-law had always been incredibly supportive up until this point. There were never mixed signals or issues. I attended all of their family holidays. They invited me over multiple times without my fiance present since we're long distance. They attended my college graduation, and they have gone out with my parents and genuinely seemed to have a great time. Both sides always spoke highly of each other. The day we got engaged, everything seemed to change. My family and most of his family, especially the sisters I'm already close with, were happy and excited. His parents, particularly his mom, were noticeably cold. I initially brushed it off and assumed they were just shocked or caught off guard, especially since my fiance had not told them he planned to propose out of fear that someone might accidentally ruin the surprise. A few days passed, and my family and I reached out about potentially planning wedding-related activities. She avoided every question. I eventually stopped bringing up wedding topics and assumed it was just not something she wanted to be involved in. I once again let it go. A few days later, completely unprovoked, I received a text from her saying that her feelings were hurt because we would not be including siblings in the wedding party. I was confused about how she even knew since she had avoided all wedding conversations. I'm close with my fiance's full sister and had mentioned it to her with her full approval, so I assume it made its way back to their mom that way. I immediately responded and explained our reasoning and how we planned to include family outside of the immediate wedding party. She never responded to me. Instead, she contacted my fiance and proceeded to call me every name in the book. She told him he needed to rethink his future and said awful things about my parents, including criticizing them for having my siblings and me take out student loans for college.
Well, that's crazy. You want to just not come to the wedding, actually?
Yeah, that's crazy. You want to just, maybe not come?
I think I decided that it's actually going to be every family member except for you.
Yeah, we're going to have... We've just changed our mind to make everyone in the family a part of the wedding party except for you.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you're not invited.
Yeah.
Dang. Honestly, I would probably cut off any of my parents saying that to me over this.
I would immediately be like, are you
off.
kidding me? That's total, what the heck?
Yeah, just nonsense.
Complete nonsense. I really thought you just weren't inviting them to the wedding in general based off the title. So that's why I was kind of like, well, yeah, you would kind of suck.
Yeah, no, that would be weird.
But they're coming. You're still honoring them in their own way.
Yeah. It's
your wedding. Your rules.
Yeah, and then to make this her parents gave them all student loans and she's the worst. It's so weird.
That's wild. You want to pay off their loans then?
Yeah.
I don't see you paying off their loans.
The door is open. So thankfully, my fiance stood up for me. He was furious and ended up uninviting them from everything, going no contact, and blocking their numbers. Supportive husband alert.
That's how you do it.
I did not block their numbers. Aside from that one text exchange, she had not contacted me directly. I also have a deep-rooted fear of there being an emergency and someone needing to reach me. Instead of blocking them, I deleted the message threads and tried to forget about it for the sake of my mental health. 2 days ago, while I was sleeping, I woke up to 7 missed calls, 2 voicemails, and 6 text messages from her. They were all part of a drunken rant about how they are worried about me, clearly baiting me into responding. I am an extremely empathetic person, and I struggle with setting boundaries. I was bullied a lot growing up and did not have a healthy first relationship, so my anxiety usually takes over and I engage when I should not. I am normally a very responsive texter, and if I miss a call, I usually call back immediately. This time, I did not respond at all. Honestly, it was out of pure fear of both of them. The anxiety has been unbearable, sitting heavy in my chest, and I feel like I cannot take it anymore. I was always overly sweet to both of them and tried to keep everyone connected, so for me to suddenly not answer has to be noticeable. They definitely know something is wrong. I am not entirely sure why I am posting this, but the entire situation has completely overtaken my thoughts. These early stages of engagement should be joyful and exciting, but instead they are filled with dread. My family and close friends are throwing us an engagement party over Christmas, and I am absolutely terrified. Even though his parents are uninvited, I have a deep-rooted fear that something horrible is going to happen. I don't know what to do. I cannot shake this anxiety. I keep questioning whether I should just give in and include siblings in the wedding party. No.
Literally, no. Don't give her what she wants here.
Yeah, do not teach them that they can do this and then get what they want.
Yeah, no, they are adults.
I think you should keep doing exactly what you've been doing, which is ignoring them.
Yep.
I trust my partner completely and have no doubt he will continue standing up for me, just like he already has. I just can't seem to get past this overwhelming fear, and there is an update.
Oh my god.
I think lean on your partner.
Yeah, he was so good about immediately shutting that down.
Yeah, and, maybe reach out to his siblings that you're, cool with and be like, hey, there's clearly issues going down with the parents here, and I'm just worried something's gonna happen. So
fishy.
help me out if you sense any plots or schemes coming from your parents, pass it on down the line. Let me know, But all you can do at this point is just move forward. They've been uninvited.
Yeah.
Move forward with the assumption that they are not showing up. And if they are, have a contingency plan for that. Probably the police, unfortunately.
The police.
Yeah.
Have a designated maid of dishonor. That's always my answer. That's just the opposite of a maid of honor.
So that
they're
you get-
literally just there to deal with all the BS and straight up tell people get out.
Yeah. I like that. I like that a lot. And we have an update. Wow. Thank you so much to everyone for the incredibly kind responses. I wanted to address a few things. First, I know I need counseling for my anxiety. This is a relatively new struggle for me that started within the past year. I have had multiple orthopedic surgeries that caused significant trauma to my body, and the anxiety developed as a result and never fully went away. That is very rough. I'm currently working 2 part-time jobs and cannot afford therapy right now, but it is something I plan to pursue in the future. For now, my best friend attends therapy weekly and shares techniques and coping methods with me. I also spend a lot of time researching what works best for me. Painting, baking, and recently, reading have all been incredibly grounding for me. I truly appreciate everyone who expressed concern because managing anxiety when it's new is extremely difficult. Second, regarding blocking her number, I told my fiancé that I had not blocked it and explained my reasoning, and he was okay with it. I understand how it may have sounded like I was not listening to him, especially based on some comments. That's not what it sounded like. It sounded like you were like, what if someone's in a crisis? What if there's an emergency?
Sounded like normal worrying.
Sounds very practical. I was writing purely from emotion and left out important context. None of his siblings live nearby. They are spread out across the country, with the closest being about 4 hours away. My fiancé plans to address his parents when he goes home next week. I left the contact door open because I'm not close with many of his friends due to the long distance. There are a couple I really like, and they all know about me, but because he is military, I worry that if something happened, I would not be contacted. His parents would be. That may not be the healthiest mindset, but it's something I'm actively working through. If things go poorly when he addresses them without me, I will be blocking contact as well. This is not about going around my partner and undermining him. We discussed it and he understood my reasoning. Lastly, I will not be changing the wedding. Every decision has been mutual and made together. I refuse to make any choices alone. I'm not getting married just to be a bride. I'm getting married to commit to my future husband. And by the way, you could commit to listening to more full episodes with stories just like this one on your favorite podcast platform, like iHeartRadio, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you listen to podcasts. Just search OK Storytime. And there is a little bit left of this OK Storytime.
Sounds like you got it all under control.
It really does. It
Yeah.
sounds like your in-laws were hiding this seething resentment they feel towards you and your
Yeah.
family, and they just let it come out.
Explode.
And then your husband was rightly like, hey, so that's incredibly uncool. And by the way, you're not coming to the wedding. And don't talk to me, because what is wrong with you?
Because what the heck? We were going to have a chill nudist wedding in the woods.
We were going to have a chill nudist wedding in the woods.
But our immediate family got to wear cool colors.
Yeah. Our immediate family would have loincloths.
that we're green.
Yeah, because we're keeping expenses low.
Really low. And you're missing that now.
Have fun. The wedding industry is exhausting, and the expectations people place on couples because of it are even worse. If it were entirely up to me, I would elope and come back married. My fiance does not want that. Oh, dang it. And if I'm being honest, I would be heartbroken not to share the day with my parents and grandparents. I am incredibly blessed to have a family that would do anything for each other. Thank you again to everyone who offered support. I have an amazing support system, including my fiance. But I wanted anonymous and unbiased perspectives. You all have been incredibly kind, and I truly appreciate it. And that is the end of that story.
My friend demanded I bleach my hair for her wedding. I think it's crazy.
That is a lot to do.
So I, 25 female, am meant to be in the bridal party of my friend Zoe's 26 female's wedding in December of 2024. A couple of days ago, she met with me and the rest of the bridal party to discuss what the plan was for hair, makeup, and dresses. Fair.
Sure.
By the way, this comes from Bleach Your Problem. And if you want to submit your own stories, go bleach it on r/showcase storytime subreddit. I'm Riley.
I'm Angie.
We're here to be funny, and you're here to discuss things down below. We don't really know that much. Opie says, at first it seems reasonable. She's going for a winter wonderland type of vibe. So blue dresses, all in different shades, lined up as a gradient. Interesting. With silver accents, snowflake jewelry, soft makeup. Even blue contacts for those of us who without blue eyes.
Oh my gosh.
Okay, and the last one's a bit weird. It's also no big deal to me, but I have worn color contacts for Halloween. The bit that ended up being an issue for me is that Zoe requested we all get our hair dyed. A couple of members of the bridal group are natural blondes with dyed ends, and so is Zoe, but she wants to go platinum for the wedding. The rest of us are two brunettes, a strawberry blonde. She wasn't blonde enough, a redhead. I'm one of the brunettes, and I'm the only one in the group who has never dyed or bleached their hair.
Oh boy.
Sorry, she wants blue eyes and bleached hair.
Someone call Sydney Sweetie. Someone get Sydney Sweetie's team on the phone.
That is pretty wild. Blue contacts. You can have the same Winter Wonderland gradient look just with the dresses, my guy. You do not need everyone to look the same. I'm assuming all these friends are white.
Well, let's get into it some more. I've considered it, but I can never stay settled on what I would do. I'd hate to spend money on something that I would end up hating. On top of that, my mom spent from ages 5 to 13 flat ironing my hair almost every single day.
Oh my God.
It really damaged my hair. I'm almost certain it's resulted in my hair being thinner than it used to be. I know bleaching can damage your hair, and I don't feel comfortable taking that risk yet. I told Zoe I wouldn't be able to dye my hair. She insisted that it would be fine. My hair seemed quite healthy, and she would be paying for the bleaching treatments for all of us. I again said no. Thanks so much, but I can't. I asked if I could just wear a wig, and she said no. The wigs are cheap and unnatural, and she wants us to have our real hair bleached instead of some cheap imitation for the day. But that's not natural.
Also, there are more expensive wigs out there. And I'm assuming this was like this is an older post. There were still expensive wigs back then that you could have gotten that were probably the same amount of money as bleaching your hair.
After more back and forth, she told me I should go home and think about the fact that I'm ruining her vision, that I'd be ruining the photos and the wedding video that she and her fiance, 30 male, will be putting together for his grandparents, 84 male and 82 female, to view, since they won't be able to fly in from Argentina.
That is such a crazy thing. They will not even notice.
I apologized, paid for my meal, and left.
Good.
I really don't want to dye my hair, but I also don't want to ruin Zoe's perfect picture day. I don't think I'm being difficult or wrong here, but am I? We got an edit. OP, you're being unreasonable. Just dye your hair.
You think?
Oh, yeah. Get blue contacts. You know what? If you already have a tan, do whatever you can to untan yourself. Keep yourself in a dark hole for up until the wedding to be really pale, to really get that snow effect on. I would honestly probably move to Antarctica or Alaska for the next little bit so you can really prepare yourself to get in the winter mindset.
Honestly, that is a good idea. And the fact that she's not willing to do that is really unreasonable.
Take it a step up. Do you really support your friend? Do you really want to embody her vision?
Go home and think about that. That is so crazy to, like, everything that she was adding on to this thing. It's like, you're going to ruin the pictures. You're going to ruin the video. By the way, we're putting this video together for his grandparents that can't come in because they're in Argentina. And think about that. You're going to ruin their experience now. These poor Argentinian grandparents.
Why can't they come in? Also, if you're getting a video, it's probably going to cost like $3,000 or $4,000 if it's good and you're putting all this stuff into it.
Maybe.
Just fly them in and get a caretaker. I don't know.
Honestly, if it's too much money to... I'm assuming it's like money or...
You could probably...
Maybe it's like passport. It could be that too.
You know those dogs they put in those wagons and they push around? You could do that with your grandparents.
Yeah.
That big of a deal to you.
They get a
They're
little
there.
stroller.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then whenever you come around, they can just block their view of you.
There you
so
go.
They don't have to see you, and then they can still enjoy this whole mystical wonderland.
Here you go. Yeah. Easy.
Edit.
Figured it out.
For a little clarification on how things stand and what's expected, I'm still a 6 to 7 on the hair color scale. The hair color scale.
Yes, so I'm assuming the lower the number, the darker the hair. I'm assuming. I've not seen this scale before.
Boom. It goes to 11.
Okay, wow.
Okay,
So 9 or 10.
on the hair color scale, OP's a 6 to 7. The other brunette is a 5. Zoe wants the 6 of us to be at a 9 to 10. She only wants herself to be platinum. She currently sits at a 10 on the scale. Also, I do not have dark eyes. My eyes are green. 2 of the other girls do have light brown eyes, though. Edit 2, I woke up to this thread being locked and full of so many comments to read. Guess it's a good thing I don't have work today. I want to go ahead and thank everyone for their effort to help give me advice. I'm going to try and meet up with Zoe in a few days and speak to her about this whole mess and see if we can find a compromise that doesn't involve Bleach. If you still have any thoughts or advice, I'm going to slap a copy of this post onto my profile. I'm going to try and filter the comments to Q&As and some questions after. Thanks again. We have an update. I met with Zoe yesterday.
Oh boy. Here are my thoughts on this.
What is it? Fashion designer, Angelina?
With my knowledge of hair care,
Yes.
someone's got brown hair. Like,
Yep.
like say your hair. Okay.
I am a 5.2.
Is that right? You might be darker.
4?
I don't know. Maybe a 5. I don't know. You cannot just bleach that to be that bright blonde in one session because that's going to fry your hair. It's not going to get the color that you want. When people who have darker hair or just brown hair at all, every hairstylist suggests to come in multiple times, like 3 to 7 times, getting your hair done to lightly like inch it up lighter and lighter and lighter because you can't just get your hair in one go. You know, are you listening to me?
Yes, you can't. You have to do it multiple times.
Yeah.
You can't. Yeah. Yeah.
Because it's that dangerous and it's that like bad for your hair.
Dangerous?
Well, dangerous for your hair.
Okay. I was like, this
Just-
could kill you?
No, not dangerous, but
Oh my
like
God.
it's just that bad for your hair.
How many people have doing this?
No.
Is that more than
But-
the Mount Everest?
You could get chemical burns too from bleaching your hair.
If
I
like
think
a
I've-
4-year-old is doing it to you.
Well, no, I think I've gotten some chemical burns.
Again, probably 4.
She was very, very good hairstylist, and I've gotten her multiple times. I just didn't tell her when it burned because I wanted it to be bleached. Not a good idea. You shouldn't do that, but I did it. So yeah, this is just, it's not good for your hair. You're going to have to do it multiple times. I wonder if this girl even knows that she would have to pay for multiple sessions of this. And it's not just like a one and done thing. And then what? Are you going to pay for it to be brown again after that? Are you going to pay for like my hair care stuff after that too? Because now my hair is fried. And she did say that her hair is thin already, so it's probably not going to hold up super well.
So let's see. I think Zoe kicks her out.
I think it's possible.
Met with Zoe yesterday. We talked things over. I pointed out a lot of things that were brought up in the comments and presented them as concerns of me and a couple of my friends that we have, and not the concerns of the online millions that saw it. Turns out, she's part of those millions.
She saw the post? Oh my gosh.
Someone sent her one of those TikToks that Reddit post was read, and she's been thinking about some things.
Oh my gosh, there's more of us out there that read her story.
She told me she felt a little embarrassed about all of this being out there online, even if nobody knew who we were, and I apologized. I explained that I didn't really have many people who weren't involved in the wedding to speak to about this. I needed the advice. She also apologized and said that she realizes now that the bleaching was completely out of line.
All right, dude. If TikTok had a hold of this, I wonder how many crazy comments she had about wanting everyone to have bleach blonde hair and blue eyes.
She probably had 3 to 4 threads.
At least. At least.
I got a pretty bad rap on Reddit recently.
You did? For what?
Being myself. People call me misogynistic and that you're
Aw.
coddling me.
Oh.
Yeah.
Coddling you, like letting you be misogynistic?
Mm-hmm. And you have to do damage control all the time.
Well, sometimes you don't know how to explain things quite right, and I just have to explain. I know what you mean,
Okay.
and I just have to translate it a little bit, so that might be what people are seeing.
Who knows? Everyone, am I misogynistic? Gotta go
He's
back.
not, guys.
Gotta go back to all my lads. Go hang out with my lads now.
No.
Can't hang out with women anymore. She said that since she's the only one who bleached their hair once, and because she's naturally blonde to begin with, she didn't know anything about the process for bleaching dark hair and didn't know it would be so difficult,
Knew it.
take so long, and could cause so much damage. She said, looking back, knowing what she knows now, she feels like she was a huge witch. I reassured her that she wasn't a witch. She was just uneducated and passionate about something, and we clashed. We hugged it out, and things are all good now. About the wigs, there will be none. She's scrapping the group blonde idea. I convinced her that she would stand out far better if her whole bridal party wasn't blonde, and that dark hair and red hair would work amazing with her winter theme.
It really would.
The contacts are also being scrapped unless any of us decide they still want to use them. They're very piercing blue and kind of cool looking. Also, the grandparents, so said Frank's family in Argentina isn't of German descent, so nothing to wonder or argue about. She was, however, horrified when she put all those pieces together and thought about it and how it looked. She had been really thinking about Elsa vibes, not Aryan nation vibes. And that embarrassed her more than the story about being out there herself. She didn't even know
Yeah.
Nazis fled to South America after World War II.
You know, I actually didn't know that either.
Dude, they went everywhere.
Yeah.
Most of them started working for NASA.
Really? No way.
Those German Nazis were smart.
Dang.
They had a lot of leeway to do a lot of experiments.
It's true. They sure
Gotta
did.
put those working minds to work.
Yikes.
So through the 50s and 60s, there was just weeding out of a lot of those people.
Really?
They'd hunt them down.
Yeah, dude. TikTok flamed her butt. I just know it.
Zoe has officially messaged everyone in the bridal party to let them know about the change of plans and to apologize for the outburst and the stress this put on everyone. She is also very excited for us to all come up with the hair and makeup look and to go dress shopping. Also, those who asked the groommen were being held to the same standard. I don't know. And after finally getting this whole fiasco over with, I didn't care to ask. Zoe and I made up. Everything's fine now. Sorry if this update wasn't the crazy story everyone wanted and was looking forward to. We have an edit, October 1st. I considered whether or not I should post this because I feel effing awful. But I think I just need to get it out there. Zoe's wedding has been called off.
What?
Oh,
What? This is a whole new story now.
the engagement has been broken off. And there's no telling if Zoe and Frank will ever have a relationship at the end of this. To keep things short, this is all secondhand from Zoe via text. Zoe went to Frank the next day to talk to him about everything. He had been gone until the next morning after. She and I met up to a work thing. Turns out 3 of his groomsmen, including the best man, have already started the bleaching process.
Oh no, they were gonna do their hair too? Oh my god.
It went well of 2 of them, as they are both pretty light-haired, though not quite blonde. His best man, Brandon, however, has orange hair now.
Oh my
It's
god.
not terrible, but it's not great either. In addition, it's patchy because he did it at home with the buddy
Oh no.
while they were both drinking, and now he has to go to a salon to get it fixed. Plus, his hair already feels fried.
Oh no.
They called it off because of this, because of these idiots. By the way, don't be an idiot and listen to more stories like this so you don't do the same thing. Just go to OK Storytime on iHeartRadio, Spotify, or Apple Podcasts. We have a little bit more of this fiasco. I am so glad we figured this out.
Oh my gosh.
They were going to do it too. What the
They were gonna do it too. And I mean, it sucks because it's like, I'm kind of thinking like, well, they shouldn't have bleached their own hair
This
at
is a
home while they
TV
were
episode.
wasted.
Yeah.
But if they don't know anything about hair stuff, how are they supposed to know? These poor guys. I mean, it sure is probably already fried because you're using at-home box bleach. I'll do my own hair, but that's the one thing I will go into a salon for is to bleach my hair because I just don't even want to mess with it.
Dude,
That sucks.
this is a TV show.
This truly is.
This is like something that happened on Friends.
I really need to know how this turned into a divorce though, or calling off the wedding.
OP continues. Frank told Zoe that since half of his side has taken the plunge, and because it effed up Brandon's hair for the moment, that the rest of the bridal party, and he apparently singled me out by name, need to suck it the F up and get it done.
Oh my god.
This resulted in a huge argument. Zoe called off the wedding, and Frank ended the engagement. Zoe's sleeping at her parents' place, and they have not spoken since. Opie, you caused this.
OP, this is all your fault. Just kidding, but
I feel awful. I know I have a right to boundaries and autonomy and crap. I know this isn't my fault, but I feel like if I'd never make such a big deal out of things and just gone through with it, this never would have happened. No, this was a test between Frank and Zoe.
yeah.
They failed the test.
Yeah.
If they're going to let someone have an opinion and it ruins it to this point, and it's not even a bad opinion, it was just a concern, and they let someone outside of their engagement ruin that, and now they're calling it off,
Yeah.
that's for the best of both of them.
Honestly, yeah, if they can get into a big argument over this kind of stuff, then their relationship was already on the rocks.
Think 5 years from now while they're married. Will they last that long?
Yeah.
Now let's think 10. There's kids.
Yeah.
There's kids involved.
Right.
Thank goodness you said something. You caused
Honestly.
both of them from getting so much hurt.
And honestly, what they could have done too is like gone to get it done again and like fixed, but like just get it brown again.
Also, how does he not
But
see
they
how
just didn't
hilarious this
know.
is? Yeah.
Honestly,
What-
yeah, we
what's-
can laugh about this, guys.
What's cheaper? Canceling a wedding or getting a divorce?
Canceling a wedding.
There
I'd
we go.
assume.
OP, you did the right thing and you won't be able to see it for the next years to come.
Yeah.
We got another story.
Yes, we do. A member of my wedding party dyed their whole head and planned to keep it for my wedding.
Without asking you first?
I am getting married this fall, Rona willing, and one member of the wedding party has neon yellow green hair and has said that they plan on keeping that color for the foreseeable future, including for the wedding.
Oh.
I did not know this person had dyed their hair until after I had asked them to be in the wedding party.
Oh, man.
By the way, this comes from Deleted, and if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OKStorytime subreddit. I'm Angie,
I'm Riley.
I'm Keon.
and we're here to give good advice goofily, but we don't have all the answers. We just know what we would do in these situations, so let us know what you would do in the comments.
Yo.
They've dyed their hair a few times in the past, but never their whole head. More of just highlights or ombre and low-key stuff. And never a color this bright. So honestly, I just didn't see it coming. Everyone else has more muted colors of hair, and the dresses and tuxes are also on the gray scale, so it's going to stand out. I know it's just hair, it's their choice, and I'm trying to be as respectful as possible. However, I also frankly don't want to look at my wedding pictures for the rest of my life and have the first thing I notice be their neon freaking hair. It seriously draws the eye. Ideas we have come up with to mitigate this: make all the photos of the wedding party be in black and white, and ask the photographer to edit this person's hair to not a neon yellow green color, which may also be an a-hole move. Still feel weird about that. Opinions are welcome. Or the option that someone proposed that I'm really conflicted about: ask the person to wear a wide lace headband or a wrap that covers most of their hair and style it pulled back so it's more or less tucked away for most of the pictures. If it matters, we bought/rented dresses and tuxes for everyone and would pay for this accessory too. And we are paying for hair to be done professionally for the wedding party, because if I'm going to ask people to look a certain way for an event for me, I don't want to then force them to pay to do it. But I can't tell if this would be taking my input a step too far. It was a little awkward when I asked how long they were planning to keep their hair neon, and I just asked coming from a place of curiosity, not asking specifically about the wedding. So I think they may get mad at me if I ask them to more or less hide it. Would I be the a-hole if I asked this person to wear a hairpiece or a style that covers most of their neon hair for my wedding? We do have an edit to clarify. I'm asking, would I be the a-hole for asking them to consider a hairpiece that covers a lot of their hair or pulls it back from their face, not telling them that this is what I want or they'll be out of my wedding? If they're not comfortable with the hairpiece, then I'd ask how they feel if there was editing or color balance adjustment to the photos to tone it down. And if there's still a no, then we just pick black and white photos. We get one professional album with our photography pack, so we just make the whole thing black and white photos. We'd still have digital copies of all the photos, color and not. Just the ones we'd hang in our house and stuff would probably be black and white. No one is going to be forced to do anything. But we do have an update, but what do you think OP should do?
I'm not forcing them to do anything. They don't have to do anything they don't want to.
Do you think it sounds like that?
Yeah.
Explain yourself.
We wouldn't be here if that was the case, OP. Stop lying to us.
Yeah.
You want them to change their hair color.
Yeah, we wouldn't be on Reddit.
You just don't want to be the a-hole. Thus, here's what we're going to do. Crazy bachelorette party the night before.
Gosh.
No.
Dye their hair.
No.
Oh my gosh.
Oh,
That'd be crazy.
I just invited a couple of girls. Yes, their professions are hairstyling. That doesn't matter. They're here to have fun. Drink
Yeah.
this. Problem solved.
So don't do that.
I said, how bad do you want to get done? Really bad or kind of bad? If you want it really bad, there you go.
Yeah, if you throw your morals away, that is a way to do it.
All right. Now we got morals in the mix. What are we going to do?
Yeah. But anyway, we have an update here. My original post didn't get a ton of responses, but I really appreciated the people who did respond, and I wanted to share an update since the situation is fully resolved. While the top comments were not the a-hole, I read every comment, and I got a lot of different perspectives. And I continued to think on the situation and reflect on what you all said. I had a realization that I was putting all my stress and anxiety about life and the wedding, as well as my frustration with some unrelated, rude, hurtful things that my friend had done into my frustration with the hair situation, because it was an easy thing to be upset about. I did some deep breathing and decided it wasn't worth saying anything about covering the hair. For my mental health, I needed to just let it go and let everything else go too. My wedding day was amazing. I'm so glad to not only be married, but also be done with wedding planning and moving and all of it, because holy heck, it was a lot. Some people said I was shallow to even care about the hair and pictures at all, and yeah, I probably am. I accept that. The hair does stand out a lot in the color pictures, and the person had their natural roots, which looked absolutely awful. That would bug me the most, honestly. You're gonna come to my wedding with this bright color, and you're gonna have grown out roots. You're not even gonna have it redone for my wedding? Like, really? I mean, why wouldn't she want that for herself anyway? Come on, you're gonna look bad.
See?
That's on you.
Malicious.
I'm not gonna lie, I found it incredibly rude that they dyed their hair neon and that they didn't even bother to make sure it was maintained for being in a wedding. Fair. But in black and white, everything looks totally fine, and I love black and white pictures anyway. They also got married a bit after my wedding. The witchy voice in my head couldn't help but note that they bothered to get their roots done for their own wedding. I complained to my husband a bit in our hotel room after the rehearsal, got it out of my system, had a great time in their wedding. I guess all this to say, whether or not it would have been an a-hole move to ask them to cover their hair, as people pointed out, it wasn't worth it. The hair did bother me. I am a little shallow. I am a little selfish, but it wasn't as big of a deal as I was making it out to be. It was better to keep all shallow, selfish, and witchy thoughts to myself and my husband, work on acceptance, and move on. Writing this is my closure. I will spare no more thoughts or energy for the neon hair. Thank you all for helping me find perspective. And we do have an edit here, but
This
what
is
were you
my
laughing
favorite
at?
part. There was no personality trait of this person that countered the neon hair, and you still asked them to be your bridesmaid.
Like that was better than the neon hair? Is that what you're saying? Like,
If you decided day before we got married, I'm gonna dye my hair neon,
Yeah.
and Keon, who's my groomsman, also the day before was like, I'm gonna do it too.
I'm going to
Yeah.
shave my head.
I'm gonna shave my head.
yeah,
Keon is an awesome person. I love him.
yeah.
Yeah, kind of weird. Come, I love you so much. We're already at the point about to get married. Let's just tie the knot already.
Yeah,
You know, you're gonna
Go
look
ahead.
back on it. It's gonna be whatever.
yeah,
It's because of how awesome of a person you are. Didn't see this here. The only personality trait I saw this person was they have neon hair.
Yeah.
Not that they're fun to be around or they helped me through a hard time in my life.
right. I mean, it was honestly even the opposite, because she did say, like, well, this person, I think what was bothering, like, I think the hair bothered me so much because I was already frustrated about other things with this person, and it was just so easy to be mad about. So it's like, yeah, exactly. It's the opposite of that. But we do have an edit just to clarify some questions I've seen come up since people have cared enough to message me about it. Why do I think it was rude to not dye their roots? Would I have paid for it? Did I pay for things for them to be in the wedding? Were our weddings far apart enough? Etc. I paid for everything that I could to help take off the burden. Dresses, tuxes, hair, even offered people places to stay if they didn't want to do a hotel. If they had told me it was a money issue, I'd gladly have paid for the roots to be done too, if they told me that they needed help. I know people are in various financial situations. I told my wedding party if there were any financial challenges coming up in being a part of my wedding to please tell me, and I would help because I didn't want it to be a burden. I think when you are in a wedding, you are agreeing to maintain your appearance and hygiene for that day. You're going to shower before, you're going to brush your hair and teeth, you're going to do what you need to do to be presentable. In my perspective, if you dye your hair a very attention-grabbing color that differs dramatically from your natural hair color, that you make sure the dye job looks decent and well done and not an inch grown out, and that's part of looking presentable for a formal event. The weddings were months apart. They got the roots touched up not too long after my wedding, and then again the weekend of their wedding. I felt it was rude because it was clear that the person did not consider it something important to do for other events in their life, just not my wedding. And that to me shows a lack of care, especially when, again, I would have paid for it. And by the way, I would never lack care for you listening to full episodes of stories just like this on Spotify, iHeartRadio, Apple Podcasts, or your favorite podcast platform. Just search OK Storytime. There is a little bit more to the story. Riley, what do you think about that?
Fair.
Yeah.
I'm not going to go to a wedding. Really long, curly hair.
Yeah.
It's not put together. I like the presentable thing.
I get it. I don't know how angry I would be. I think I would be more like annoyed. I think that is like a fair point to make. Like, it's almost similar to someone wearing like sweatpants to your wedding. Like, okay guys, this is the attire. You're supposed to match the dress code. Why are you looking not put together like you just rolled out of bed to my wedding?
Cargo shorts.
I was gonna say cargo shorts and like a Hawaiian shirt.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's
come on. So I get that. I would probably be more annoyed just for like that person, especially if they're in the wedding party too. Like, if they weren't, it'd not be as big of a deal, I think. But it's like, come on, man. Don't you want to look pretty and like refreshed for a wedding?
What's going on here?
I don't know, but whatever. We got a little bit more to this story. Additionally, I was in their wedding and paid for my dress and for their bachelorette party, and they did not contribute to or come to mine. And you know what? All that is fine. They're well in their right to do whatever they want with their money and their hair. It's just, it all added up. And me knowing them, knowing their situation, I found it rude. It is what it is with respect to that friend. I am unbelievably happy with my wedding day and my black and white pictures, and I'm so grateful to be married and to have all my friends by my side for the day, regardless of their hair. And that's the end of that story.
All right.
Good, peaceful mindset to have at the end of it all.
I accidentally shouted at my mother-in-law, and they never got over it.
Say it with your chest.
Me, 29 female, and my husband, 32 male, got married last month in October, but we've been together for 8 years. All right, hey, you did it. You tied the knot.
Good for you guys.
He proposed in March, and we planned for a quick wedding as we want children, but he wanted to be married first. By the way, this comes from user Obvious Weakness 3124, and if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OKStorytime subreddit. I'm Dakota.
I'm Vincent.
And we're here to give you good advice, goofily, but we don't have all the answers. We only know what we would do, so let us know what you would do in the comments. And OP says, at the beginning of our relationship, things were rocky with his parents. However, when we bought our first house, things did a 180, and suddenly they loved me. When we started planning the wedding, my mother-in-law wanted to be involved as much as she could. Fine by me, I love her a lot. I even call her Mum. However, despite the love, there just wasn't a lot to plan. As we had the wedding abroad and had a wedding planner doing most of the work due to me and my husband both working long hours. Think 15-hour days for me, and a lot of his work is out of the country. I would ask her opinion on things where I could, and she even came dress shopping with me. Now on to the main event. The wedding was going great. The ceremony went off without a hitch, and we sat down for dinner. I suddenly came over really ill. My husband knows me very well, sees that I'm unable to eat my food, looks at me, and says, "You're about to be sick." He isn't wrong. I'm struggling to even take one bite of food. My sister-in-law, my brother's wife, sees that I'm struggling and comes over. She understands how I am and is just asking if I want to step outside for some air. Seeing this, my mother-in-law, and maid of honor also come over, and now I am becoming very overwhelmed. My mum starts touching me, and I say, please don't touch me. Then my maid of honor does the same, so I repeat myself, please don't touch me. Then my mum does it again, so I again repeat myself, please don't touch me, along with my sister-in-law trying to tell everyone to back up. At this point, I thought my mother-in-law had walked away as I could no longer see her, but suddenly I had two hands land on my arms and start rubbing them up and down. I was startled, to say the least, and then, with my voice admittedly raised, I said, please don't touch me. I said it before and I said it again. Seems like an honest, just like overwhelmed. I wouldn't even say it's a mistake.
Yeah, you're about to hurl on your wedding day, and you've repeated yourself 3 to 4 times at this point.
Yeah, it's just don't touch me, don't touch me, don't touch me. Oh my God, why are you touching me like that? Don't touch me.
Yeah.
So it turns out my mother-in-law had walked behind me without realizing and was the one who then put her hands on my arms. After my outburst, my mom and mother-in-law walked away back to their table, and my maid of honor and sister-in-law took me outside to my dad's apartment. All accommodation was on site, and I proceeded to be sick. I felt a lot better after being sick, did the cake cutting, then it was time for the first dance. I felt ill again, but as soon as the first dance was over, I felt 100%. We put it down to me being nervous and sitting down having bottomed out my adrenaline. I felt bad for my outburst towards my mother-in-law, but I didn't see her for the rest of the evening. As we were all getting ready to leave the next day, I went up to her and said, I'm sorry if I upset you yesterday. That wasn't my intention, and I apologize for my action. I had rehearsed it beforehand to make sure I got it right, so I then proceeded to let her know why I think I felt so ill. Now, cut to last weekend, roughly a month after the wedding. We popped around to our in-laws, and it wasn't the first time we had seen them since the wedding. We were all having a great time, eating dinner, etc., and after dinner, my mother-in-law went upstairs to grab something for my husband. And my father-in-law then asked me to explain what happened on the wedding day regarding my outburst. I explained, and he then raised his voice at me, stating that he would not have any of that behavior now that I carry his family name, and that it was unacceptable. Hey, Pops, you're making it worse. You're the one now making it a thing.
Yeah, chill it, Gramps. You're the one instigating now. My mother-in-law seems like she's all right.
I do love that it's such like a dad thing to like get in the middle of like something they weren't like there for, and then like, I'm gonna make it worse, and now I'm making it worse.
I wasn't there the first time, but I want to be important now.
Yeah. He said I have an image to uphold and that it will not be spoken of again, and it's the end of the discussion. I was shocked, but I thought, okay, he isn't happy, and he's allowed to have his opinion. I then asked him how he would have liked me to handle the situation so I could learn from it. But before I could get past the word situation, he started telling me to shut up and that it is the end of the conversation. Where is your husband?
Once anyone starts like disrespecting you, your husband's got to like bring it up.
Yeah.
Yeah, where's he?
Where's your husband to say, no, you, Dad. No, you shut up, actually. I tried again to say, I just want to know what I could have done better. And at this point, he went off on a tirade calling me disrespectful. I stood up, looked at my husband, and said, we are leaving. I don't need to sit here and be spoken to like this. I started gathering my stuff. Father-in-law then continued to tell me that this is why I have no friends, because I am stubborn and disrespectful. He said my husband needs to instill into me how to behave properly. He continued shouting, but I had not blown up or started shouting back. My husband tried to intervene while I gathered everything. I was crying as father-in-law said some truly horrible things. Again, where is your husband? Where is your husband to shut this down? This is insane. Mother-in-law came back downstairs wondering what was going on, and my brother-in-law sat at the dinner table in shock. Then Father-in-law said my apology to mother-in-law was a half apology. He claimed he listened in on it, and all I said was, I'm sorry if I upset you, which is not true, because you then did apologize for your actions. I was giving my mother-in-law a hug at the time of the apology, so how would he have even heard the rest that was to her ear as I was trying not to make a scene? I tried to tell him that the full apology was as I stated above, but he wasn't having it. Mother-in-law and I then headed into the hallway as I was putting on my shoes to go. Eventually, I just left because I could not listen to what else he was saying. I waited in the car for half an hour before my husband came out, as he was still inside trying to talk to his parents to find out where this was all coming from. It turned out there was more. His mom wasn't happy that I asked her to change her hair on the day. The hair and makeup artist was doing mine and my mother-in-law's hair and makeup in the bridal suite. Mother-in-law showed me a front-facing photo of her hair. I said, looks great, and wasn't aware she was going for the same style as me, even down to the pins in the same position. When I saw it, I gently said, oh, wait, that's how I'm having my hair. And my sister-in-law said, yeah, that will have to change. So she changed it, which took all of 3 minutes. Apparently, she wasn't happy about this. Anyway, my husband and I were in the car and started heading home. We got 5 minutes down the road, and he said he needed to turn back as he really needed the toilet. We live an hour away, so we went back, and I stayed in the car.
I'm sorry. At that point, you just had this big blow up. You're losing a sleeve in the woods, man.
I mean, hey,
Yeah,
what better way, though, to cap off a blow up than by blowing up their bathroom?
Dude, don't flush.
You know?
Make it gnarly.
Yeah, give him some work. Mother-in-law came out to talk to me while I was in the car, asking to please not let this come between the family. Why are you talking to her? Talk to your husband.
Yeah, he's the one who brought it up. This isn't her thing.
At all. This is 100%. This was your husband, the father-in-law. Everyone needs to stop talking to OP about this.
Yeah, OP's a bystander in this.
She said that when she joined the family, I wouldn't believe what she went through, and that father-in-law isn't feeling well, which is why he's acting like this. Which honestly makes so much sense, because I don't know if you know anyone with like chronic pain or whatever, but when people who experience a lot of pain like have flare-ups, oh my God, they become horrific to be around. Or they can. Like, it's certainly a thing.
Yeah, I've known some people who, like, they've just had, like, pain that they haven't addressed for years. And then once they address it with, like, a surgery or, like, taking care of whatever problem that is, they're like, oh, wow, I had so much energy focused on just being mad.
Yeah.
Because of this pain. It's like, oh, wow. But
Frees you up quite a bit.
Yeah.
Hey, and by the way, little cutie pies, you can listen to full episodes with stories just like this one on your favorite podcast platforms like iHeartRadio, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you listen to podcasts. All you got to do is search OK Storytime. Just wanted to let you know. And we do have a little bit more story here. This weekend, I got a phone call from my mother-in-law. We had a normal conversation. Then she asked what our plans were for the concert this coming weekend. I said, to be honest, I do not feel safe or comfortable being in the same room as father-in-law at this time. She said, oh, just push through. It will be fine. I repeated that I would not be comfortable, and she said just to come. I said to her that I'm not willing to put myself into a position that would be uncomfortable. Mother-in-law then went on to say, I just need to hear him out, as he has a lot more to say. At this point, I gave the phone to my husband and said to him, I can't do this. Please talk to her. And I walked away. I want them to have a good time at the concert, and I would just be on edge the whole time, as it is a stay-away concert. I think I have covered everything, but to be honest, I probably haven't. So am I the a-hole? And that is the end of that story. How could you possibly be the a-hole? You were just berated by your father-in-law.
Yeah, it sounds like you tried to make amends like the next day, and then it got brought back up. No, this isn't on you.
My fiance is jealous of my acrobatics partner. He made her guilty.
I sentence you to no more flippies.
My fiance, female, 24, wanted to talk to me a couple of nights ago about something that had been on her mind for a while. She was nervous about coming off wrong and said she was afraid of bringing it up would ruin our relationship. But I, 26 male top, promised her that nothing she would say could do that. By the way, this comes from Throwaway Secondary, and if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OKStorytime subreddit. I'm Riley.
I'm Dakota.
I'm Keon.
And we're here to give good advice goofily. We don't have any answers, really. So if you guys have an answer, put it in the comments. As OP says, I genuinely meant it, and I wanted her to feel safe telling me whatever it was that was bothering her. Even with that reassurance, she still seems so anxious before starting the conversation. I could tell it's been weighing on her for a long time. We've known each other since high school and have been dating for 3 years. We both recently graduated and had agreed to wait until after graduation before seriously talking about marriage. Once we graduated, we started looking for places, and I proposed with the ring she had pointed out to me herself. When she finally told me what had been bothering her, she said she felt guilty for not bringing it up before I bought the ring.
Oh?
Even after I reassured her that it did not change how I feel about her, she still felt bad about the timing. While I was in college, I fell in love with circus arts at a place that offered classes. After trying a trial lesson, I ended up taking classes there for over 4 years, eventually specializing in handstand balancing and partner acrobatics. This was the part of my life that concerned her. It is something I have put a lot of time and energy into, and it became a big part of who I am. I did not realize at first that it could be causing her stress. In the partners acrobatics community, instructors assign partners based on similar skill levels. I've been working with another woman at my level for years now. My fiance knows this and has attended several of our recitals over time. She even tried a few classes herself, but felt it would take too long to become decent and did not want to put in the hours, which I completely understand. We all have different passions, and I've always tried to support hers the same way she supported mine. During our conversation, she emphasized multiple times that she did not want to come off as jealous. Still, she admitted she had doubts about how closely my partner and I work together, especially with how we are often holding and catapulting each other into different balances. She also mentioned the amount of time we have spent refining our skills for performances. She felt guilty for not stating her concerns months earlier. I could tell she had been holding this in for a long time.
Yeah, man. You know what a catapult is? You gotta lift someone up, catapult them by the butt cheek.
Oh yeah, but that's a tailbone.
And this is also a sport. At the end of the day, this is a sport. This is not like you're going out and doing salsa dancing with strange ladies, which is still also kind of almost a sport in a way, but only if you're doing it competitively.
Playing basketball, you always gotta touch your bros' butts whenever they make a good pass or good shot. You always gotta do that.
Yeah, Keon knows all about that.
Baseball.
Played a lot of baseball.
A lot of diddling.
A lot
happening.
of butt smacking.
Yeah, y'all are really bad at smacking my butt.
I do it often.
And you're bad at it.
I'm not.
I'm not.
I have
holding
no
back.
argument to that.
I'm not holding back anymore.
I literally called it out earlier. I'm like, who smacked my butt last? I think it was you, Riley.
I'm
I was
afraid.
like, you're bad at smacking butt. You're bad at smacking butts.
I'm afraid if I go too low, then my hand will disappear forever.
Y'all aim way too high.
I told her I loved her and appreciated her honesty, especially because keeping it inside would have led to future problems I would never know about. I explained that while my partner and I work closely together, there was no romantic relationship whatsoever. Even though my partner is not currently dating anyone, she knows I'm in a committed relationship. I compare it to dancers or actors working closely together, where the intimacy is part of the performance and it does not translate off stage. To me, it has always been strictly professional. I also told her that if she preferred I stop doing partner acrobatics, I would be willing to do that, especially with us about to get married. That was when she started feeling guilty, saying she did not want to waste all the money from our last 4 years of working together. She also brought up that we make money performing at gigs the studio provides. She's worried she was causing a rift between me and my partner, even though there has not been one. Her guilt seemed almost heavier than the concern itself. This is super sweet. I think this is a sweet way of bringing it all up.
Yeah, it's like she's aware that it's not even rational. It's just it's a feeling.
Mm-hmm.
Caught up on a feeling.
That should be a song somewhere.
It is.
There's a bunch of songs for that.
Blue Suede.
I knew that. It was on the Guardians of the Galaxy mixtape. I want to show her that I appreciate her honesty and was willing to erase any doubts she had. With the wedding approaching, I wanted her to feel secure and prioritized. But at the same time, I struggled with how to explain quitting to my acro partner professionally without oversharing personal details. I was also worried that if I quit, my fiance would continue to feel guilty, just as she had already said many times. She is my priority, but I feel stuck trying to balance everything. Respectfully, we have an update. Angela says, nah, I'm reading more into it.
Why?
Christina says, don't stop your passion. Need to get over it, girl.
Yeah, I think you keep doing what you're doing, and you guys get married and live happily ever after forever.
Can she have a sit-down conversation with the acro partner, perhaps? That help?
Yeah, that would probably help, you know? Like, we had a story about, like, dance partners, and...
Oh, yeah?
I mean, it didn't end up working out, but meeting with the dance partner did assuage a lot of their concerns. 'Cause
Yeah.
it's like her dance partner also had, like, a husband, and, like...
Mm,
But, yeah, if you've got a passion, hold on to that.
yeah.
It's rare
You
to
love it.
have passion in life.
Anyways, update. Some of the advice I received gave me a different perspective that I had not considered before. One person said that while quitting was an option, it could do more harm than good by setting a precedent for how male and female relationships outside of our marriage would be handled in the future. Instead of removing temptation, it might be better to establish trust. Giving up hobbies we love could potentially lead to resentment later. That idea really stuck with me. Another suggestion was to set strict boundaries and make them clear to my fiance. When we talked again, I told her I would not hang out with my partner outside of training. I also told her she was welcome to drop by unannounced anytime. I thanked her again for bringing the issue to my attention and reassured her that I wanted us to do what was best for both of us. I also said that if quitting later felt right, I would still be open to it. She told me she did not want me to quit and said she admired the effort my partner and I put into our work. She said she did not want to ruin something I cared so deeply about. She also shared that she had been thinking more about her feelings and realized there were things she did not say during our first conversation. She admitted she had been wrongfully jealous of the bond my partner and I shared, specifically the trust between us. Hearing that helped me understand her perspective more clearly. She explained that these feelings started after someone commented on a video of our performance, assuming my partner was my girlfriend.
Oh, no. It's social media comments at it again.
I've seen like online where it's like teaching my boyfriend how to do a backflip and he does it horribly wrong, but it's like the gymnast. And she's like in other videos with guys, but like I'm spending my time doing this. You could probably do that with your girlfriend. Be like,
Yeah.
me trying to catch my girlfriend, and it just goes horribly wrong each time.
Let's not put her in danger.
No net.
Putting my girlfriend into a cannon, like the circus.
Bro, we all have girlfriends.
Harley, they do that in the circus, don't they? Let me know.
Yeah.
Why did that? You said that like you're genuinely shocked.
Yeah, dude, I forgot that we all had girlfriends.
What a wonderful feeling.
This happened a few years ago, the comment, before many people knew we were dating. It came from a family friend. She said it hurt her deeply. I told her I had no issue removing the video from my social media. She felt terrible for not speaking up sooner. She also admitted that sometimes she felt she was less than my partner and worried she might lose me. She said she wished there was something we could do together to strengthen our bond. She explained that while she wished she could perform with me, she did not want to commit to acrobatics. We started brainstorming ideas for shared activities. I also wanted her to feel more confident in herself when she doubted her self-worth. I hoped a bonding activity might help what she had been carrying inside. Update. I went back and forth on writing this update, but things never improved. And we never ended up getting married?
No.
Dude, this guy seems so, like, amazing.
Yeah, man, I thought you were getting BDSM airied. That sucks.
One of the best pieces of advice I received was to treat the situation as a precedent for how male and female relationships would be handled in the future to build trust. I tried to apply that advice by encouraging transparency and inclusion rather than avoidance. I tried her to meet my partner and even suggested she drop by training sessions. At the time, it felt like things were moving to a better direction.
Okay. Oh,
But relationships are a
triangle.
I agree with that. You got you, the other person, and God.
Sick.
She eventually came to one of our training sessions where my partner and I rent a studio time outside of group classes. She formally met my partner and watched the entire session. So she's never even met this woman?
Until right now.
Afterwards, she suggested the three of us grab lunch so they could talk more. They seemed to get along very well, and for a moment, I felt hopeful. I truly believed this would erase her worries. Not long after that, she told me her parents had fueled many of her doubts. They had sent our performance videos to relatives, insisting it looked more was going on between my partner and I. This was the first time I had heard of any of this, as her parents never came to me directly. She told me they said deeply hurtful things about her and spread a gossip to both relatives and their church. She was devastated and embarrassed by it all.
What is it about the church and the gossip, like, lining up always? Like, isn't that, like, anti? Aren't you supposed to not do that?
Yep.
What are you doing?
This
You're bearing false witness.
This is where people are following a religion rather than having a relationship with Jesus. This is what happens. Because they're all like, oh, you have to look this way, dress this way, blah, blah, blah. And it's like, that's where is that?
Yeah. Pretty sure Jesus was pretty chill.
He was. Chill dude. Her parents eventually told her they would not support our marriage unless I quit acrobatics.
Why does her parents need to support your marriage?
She emphasized that her original concern was never about me quitting, but about me feeling insecure about herself and her body compared to my partner. I told her I did not care what her parents thought and was willing to return any wedding funds so we wouldn't owe them nothing. But her words had already deeply affected her. She became depressed under the weight of it all. She asked for space, saying it was not because of me, but because of her parents, threatening to cut her off. I wanted to support her through it, but she insisted on handling it alone. Girl, what are we doing? What I thought would be a short break turned it into almost complete silence. She eventually canceled with our wedding planner, which broke my heart, but also felt like the right thing to do given everything. I respected that she did it properly instead of rushing into something she was unsure about. And if you're ever unsure about anything, stop what you're doing in that moment. Go to your favorite podcast platform, search up OK Storytime, Radio, Spotify, or Apple Podcasts.
That's right.
And you won't be unsure.
And you won't be unsure anymore. You'll be sure that there's tons of full episodes right there for you to listen to. If she was the kind of person who could let her parents completely derail her relationship with you, she's not someone you want to marry anyway.
Yeah, true. Cut her off? That was her, she's going to not marry you because she doesn't want to be cut off?
Yeah, she doesn't want to disagree with her parents because then they'll cut her off. Huh? I remember one time I went to my parents and I was pleading. I was like, please cut me off. Like, don't.
What?
Yeah, if there was an arrangement. My dad was basically like, are you stupid?
Are you?
It's like, you realize, we're helping you, right? And I was like, yeah, but it doesn't feel like it's helping.
Yeah.
I just feel like I'm falling behind. And he was like,
that.
you can do both, stupid. Take my money. And I was like, okay.
Nice.
And it kind of worked out, I guess.
Yeah. So, OP continues, her parents refused to answer my calls or messages and continued spreading rumors. They even told her I was not allowed to come over and told me to stop contacting them. I stepped back and gave her space. My dad told me that breaking away from parents can be incredibly difficult for some people. I have taken a break from acrobatics, though my partner has been supportive and hopes I return. I'm trying to take things day by day and figure out how to move forward. Getting active again feels overwhelming, but I know it would help. Going back to class might be a start. Even if it feels difficult right now, I'm hoping to find the strength to do that soon, because it has been hard to do much of anything of lately. Well,
My sister is engaged to a nightmare that the whole family had to step in.
Oh my goodness.
My little sister is getting married, and I can't stand the man she intends to subject us to for the next 6 months or so. That's generous. My sister is 25, her fiance is 26, and on the Kuntish scale, he comes in at a whopping thunder C-word. This guy has no business being at large in any community, anywhere, anytime there could be a woman present. By the way, this comes from Karma Bewitchin', and if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OK Storytime subreddit. I'm Sophia.
I'm Angie.
And I'm Vincent.
And we're here to give good advice goofily, but we don't have all the answers. We only know what we'd do. So let us know what you would do in the comments. He has backwards opinions about women and women's rights. And my sister, whom I thought was really intelligent, seems oblivious to it. Or even worse, just going along with it because he's semi-attractive and has a decent job. That's speculation, but I genuinely cannot find a single redeeming quality in this POS. Here's a couple of examples. My sister loves to travel. She planned a trip with her best friend to Greece because he's afraid to fly. He found out, got mad that she'd take a trip with someone that's not him. She reminded him that he's afraid of flying. He told her that if she loved him, she'd cancel the trip that she'd already paid for and stay home with me. She called me to tell me that she was upset, and I told her to tell him to get lost and go on the trip anyway. She canceled the trip instead. Oh no.
Oh no, we've got an abusive relationship on our hands.
Oh no. My sister loves her job and her boss, unheard of. And after they're married, she wants to go back to school to get her PhD because her company will pay for it. Any loving partner would celebrate that as a win for them and their future family, right? Wrong. He said that when they're married, her focus should be him and the kids. She agreed to stay home for a little while, but said that she'd like to go back to work and eventually school. He told her if that's what she wants, then she's not gonna be a good mother or the type of mother he wants for his children. I like the sound of that. Let's not be the mother of his children then.
Yeah, that is true. I like that. I don't like the idea that that would make her a bad mom.
No.
Absolutely not true.
Not at all. What if we just stopped it right here?
What if we just say, oh, well, then
Guess I'm not the woman for
I
you.
won't be boinking you and having your babies.
No, sir.
Yeah, and it also just tells you that he sees you as a mother.
Yeah, you're a womb.
You're
You
a
are
womb,
just
so
a
he.
womb.
I told her to tell him to get lost. She said, they put a pin in it. My sister is beautiful, and she's always been confident in her looks. But since dating this guy, she's become super self-conscious. Nothing she does is good enough for him. She's always asking, do you think he'll like this? Or saying stuff like, I don't think he'd like me wearing this, or doing that, or talking about whatever. And
poor girl.
I'm like, forget that guy. What do you want? That's just a handful of examples. I had been pretty good about biting my tongue around him for my sister's benefit and in the interest of not causing a scene. But my God, if I didn't have a heck of a time ripping this guy a new one yesterday. It was delicious. Some of my best work, and I shouldn't be proud as I'm an adult, and I know there was a better way of handling it, but here's the gist. He said to my sister something to the effect of, I thought we decided you weren't wearing that dress anymore because it makes you look like a streetwalker.
Oh, this guy is horrible.
Well, you look like a skinwalker, dude.
Yeah.
Imagine you telling your partner
Yeah.
that. You're basically calling.
Awful. My sister didn't respond, but she saw me see the interaction and begged me with her eyes not to intervene. But alas, I could not, so I did not. And I said, oh, I know I did not just hear you telling my sister what she can and cannot wear. He was taken aback because, how dare a woman speak to a man in such a manner? His poor, delicate little man soul couldn't handle it, but he doubled down and said, this is between me and my fiance. Mind your own business. And I let loose the floodgates on this guy. I verbally destroyed him. I don't even remember all of it. I must have blacked out. I only recall the very end when I said something like, I swear to the gods, if I ever hear you say some dumb, misogynistic stuff like that to my sister again, I will make sure you regret it. I may have also insulted his V-neck.
Nice.
Called his tribal tattoo the symbol for and said his mother left him because she had a vision of what an embarrassment he'd become as an adult with free will.
Wow. That's a burner.
Oh my gosh.
Was there anything left of him? Because I think you eviscerated him.
It sounds like you did.
He's gone.
He's gone.
He just
Good riddance.
Into
He
the
just
wind.
turned into dust.
Yeah. It was like a snap moment,
Yeah.
Avengers,
Totally.
Infinity.
Wow.
Boom, gone.
Wow.
He walked away and pouted for the rest of the day. My sister called me later and said that I shouldn't have made a scene, that I took it too far, that I really upset him, and that I should apologize. I told her I would apologize to him when he apologized to her for demanding she give up her aspirations and happiness for his benefit.
That's a good response.
Am I the a-hole? And there's an update.
Oh my God, I hope she breaks up with this guy.
Yeah, I really hope so.
really hope so.
I am worried that the fiance is going to start saying that OP is trying to break them up, that she's a bad influence in the relationship, and try and isolate OP's sister from OP. That's what I'm worried is going to be the outcome of this.
That is like a huge risk in this situation. I do really like, though, that the sister said, like, no, he should apologize to you. Like, it's not even that, like, oh, no, I was right because he's bad, whatever.
she's putting the focus back
OP,
on.
OP saying that.
Yeah. Like
Yeah.
OP is saying that to the.
Yes.
Like I think it's good that she's putting the focus back on the sister, right? Because they're sisters, yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Mm.
So she's putting the focus back on the sister and that she is the victim here.
Mhm.
Like
I love
she's
that.
the one that is in trouble and she needs someone else to tell her that, I
Mhm.
guess. And
Yeah.
remind her that that's if she's thinking that, which she probably is for a second, but maybe stops herself from thinking it or something. Hopefully someone else's support can help for sure.
Anywho, my family is very close. We have breakfast together pretty much every Sunday. My mom calls it church, and she demanded that no children be present for this week's service. Last time she demanded that, we were taking away Grandpa's car keys so he couldn't forget to put it in park and allow it to casually drift into his neighbor's tulips again.
Oh wow.
He cried, so I had a feeling Mom was gearing up for an aggressive discussion with my sister's fiance. Mom made cinnamon rolls, and Satan knows that cinnamon rolls are best served with a side of, "Girl, I'm not telling you what to do, but if you know what's best for you, you'll do what I'm saying." I got there early to get a feel for the temperature of the impending discussion. To give you an idea, here are a handful of the paraphrased thoughts Mom and Dad were muttering at one another. Please know my family are all very sarcastic and speak hyperbolically most of the time, and there's no actual malicious intent behind these statements. Dad, is she too old for a spanking? Mom, I don't know, but our bedroom door locks from the outside. We could keep her in there until she comes to her senses. Dad, I could dress like a spicy service provider. That would really stress him out. Mom, let's just regularly drop into the conversation that she has always been smarter and more successful than him, and she'll continue to be those things when he's gone. Because he's nothing more than a lapse in her historically good judgment. Dad, she really can't expect me to deliver her to this guy on the wedding day. Seriously, I'm going to ask her that in front of him. Mom, you'll have to hurdle my body. No one from this family is allowed at that wedding, and that includes the bride. So they had clearly been discussing and planning for a while. Anyway, my sister arrived alone. My dad's response, you ask? She got the no children memo. Oh!
Boom.
Oh!
Nice.
Burns. My sister's reaction, well, she started sobbing. Apparently, they
Aw.
got into a fight, not a physical one. Luckily, he's not that particular brand of awful. He wound up insulting our mother, my father, and me, naturally. So my sister finally sucked it up and told him to get out of her house. Yes, it is her house that she owned prior to dating him. And I was like, my baby's a genius. Problem solved. Wrong. She then went on to say that she was thinking about calling him because she felt bad about how she ended it. When the resounding chorus of boos didn't deter the thought, I turned to Reddit. Before she had a chance to continue down the wrong side of the IQ curve, I showed her your comments. I had her take the quiz. I'm not kidding, not even 5 questions in. She had to stop because she finally realized what we had all been desperately telling her from the start. He's a thunder C-word. She cried again and even said that her therapist had started asking her similar questions over the past couple of months, but she had just chalked it up to the one-sidedness of therapy setting. My mom and I gently informed her that her therapist was likely picking up on his questionable behavior too, and we encouraged her to discuss it further with him and us if she so chose to. Our brother arrived late, but after getting caught up, all he said was, "I'm happy to help you pack his stuff and drag it to the curb." So that's what my brother, my dad, and my sister are doing right now.
Yay.
And I hope that right now you're listening to full episodes of stories just like this. Just go to Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or iHeartRadio and search up OK Storytime. They are also changing locks, codes, passwords, and anything else that might give him access to her or her property in any capacity. My dad does not mess around with safety and already texted the ex-fiance and told him when he would be permitted to come collect his things, and that he would be speaking solely with him going forward. The ex-fiance is definitely upset, but doesn't have the nerve to mess with our very scary-looking father. So he has agreed to cut communication with my sister entirely. And my brother, who is a paramedic and firefighter, is friendly with a lot of cops. So we made sure to casually mention that as well. Thank you again for the constructive feedback. It genuinely made a huge difference and helped us make sure we could help my sister to see the light and ensure her safety throughout the process. And that's the end of the story.
Yay.
Yay!
How
Love to
lovely.
see it. Love to see it.
Love to see it. Yeah, if
Good.
anyone finds whatever that quiz is.
Yeah, what are they talking about? But that's the end of that story, folks.
My fiance wouldn't let me move in with her, but I bought the house.
Well, that's just not fair. It's my house then. You move out.
For context, I am in the Navy. And have just
Thank you.
I have just recently gone on deployment. When was this post? Yesterday? Earlier this year, me and my fiance moved in together. We got a 2-bedroom unit that was a part of a duplex. I pay all of the rent for the unit and covered all of the moving expenses and financed buying all of the furniture and appliances we needed for moving in together. By the way, this comes from user DrownZagamer. And if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OK Storytime subreddit. I'm Dakota.
I'm Savannah.
I'm Keon.
And we're here to yak about this story, maybe give a little good advice on it, but we're a bunch of goofballs. We are not professionals.
Goofity goof goof.
We're professional goofballs. So,
Goof.
take it with a grain of salt and let us know what you think in the comments. And OP says, while all of this was going on, I was also making preparations to go on deployment, such as setting up power of attorney, establishing a joint bank account, and creating an emergency fund for while I'm away. So by the time I left for deployment, I was pretty low on liquid cash. Fast forward a couple of months with no contact. I pull in for the first time and start catching up with her. She tells me all kinds of stories about how the neighbors have been super annoying, how they don't take out the trash bin, how they have weird hours, and they're noisy at night. And there's constantly new guests being invited over by the lady in the lower unit to spend the night. This was apparently a build-up because a few days later, she informed me that she had just signed the final closing paperwork for a little townhouse. I immediately had several questions, such as, but not limited to, am I going to be paying rent for our little duplex and we live in this townhouse? Why didn't you talk to me about buying a new place? When are you going to move? Is there a mortgage on the new house? How much is the HOA? To which I was largely either ignored or told to mind my own business. Ooh, but babe, it's my business. You've made it my business now. Oh no.
I want your business and your bits.
I've tried to be optimistic about this unexpected turn of events. However, this has become very frustrating for me. While I'm away, I can sometimes get email communication, and she did not even mention the home buying process once while I was out of contact. I've never been too connected with her personal finances, but although I know she doesn't have a mortgage, she refuses to tell me if the house was bought in her name or in her parents' name / how much of her money she used to buy the place or how much the place was. She has even suggested to me that she might not be comfortable having me live in the townhouse with her until we are married because it's embarrassing for her to live in the same house as a man she isn't married to.
What about living with your parents? Huh? What, you can't live with daddy? Can't live with your brother? Can't live with your cousins? I don't understand the reasoning here.
Yeah, I don't know. This just stinks. Something about this stinks to high heaven. So right now, I'm still paying rent for my duplex, a large allowance to her monthly so she can buy food and whatever she needs. And now I have financed for a new oven and decorations for the new townhouse. The proposed plan right now is for me to get a deployment letter to try and take advantage of the Civil Service Members Relief Act to break my lease early. But she isn't even giving me a straight answer on if she will let me live with her in the new place. And when I try to press the subject, she gets overwhelmed and accuses me of not supporting her and not validating all the hard work she's doing to make the new place livable. Yeah, valid. I'm validating your hard work. Can I live there?
Yeah, what?
For context, our relationship has never been quote-unquote ideal. We have had large fights that could have ended the whole relationship, and both of us have done hurtful things to the other in the past, which is part of the reason why I have delayed marriage.
Sounds like a no deal.
I don't, yeah.
Put a little Howie Mandel on that deal.
Put a little Howie in there.
How we doing?
I don't know if this is a deal we want, man.
How we doing?
If we're at, Anyway, the postponement is mostly to see if we can work through our problems. But now, I'm feeling like she's making moves to push me away, and that she may be preparing for a breakup, but keeping me around to collect a steady paycheck and finance her move and renovations.
My God.
But by the way, we want to keep you around so that you can steadily listen to full episodes with stories like this on your favorite podcast platform, like iHeartRadio, Spotify, or Apple Podcasts. Wherever you listen, just search OK Storytime, and you can find us there. And we are coming up on the tail end of this story.
Well, I hate this woman. And I hope she gets nothing. She gets kicked out of her house. And she gets nothing.
That's right. And now we will finish the story. I think she's cheating on you.
Yeah. I don't know why, like, this is obviously just her, like, using you in every single way possible. So I don't know what you're getting out of it when you're deployed and being stressed about all of this. And then she's like, I'll take all the money and the house and, I don't know, everything else.
It's
If
like
that's cool.
your relationship's so kind of messed up that you're like, well, we definitely aren't getting married. But also, I'm away for months at a time with little to no communication, and we'll fix it. I don't think it's getting fixed.
So-
Anyway, OP's got some final thoughts here. On the other hand, we still have good moments together and laugh. We're still doing long-distance dating, like watching movies through Zoom and eating together. We still talk about the future together and how the little garden is going to be so pretty, or how she wants pets and a fish tank. So maybe I'm overreacting. After all, I still love her enough to have gotten engaged to her. I'm still away from home, so my problem is further exacerbated by the distance and time zone shift. Would I be the a-hole if I broke up with her for this? Part of me is terrified I'm going to come back with my accounts drained and my duplex emptied. The other part of me is worried that if I overreact, I could be throwing away this relationship. Brother, if you're at the point where you're even debating that, you need to be ready to break up with her when you're back home. I wouldn't do it while you're gone if you're worried about that. And it's time for this to be done.
It's the good old military, you know, they go off in deployment kind of conundrum. They're like, let's rush this, let's do that. And it's hard. It's hard. Those are our servicemen, you know, it's difficult.
Yeah, I don't think you're seeing the inside of that townhouse.
I don't think it's going to work.
Correct. But that is the end of
I thought you were
that story.
doing a bit, were you not?
That's the end of that story. That's okay. That's the end of that story. My fiance wanted to add people to our wedding, but the guest list is full.
Too bad. So sad.
Last night, my 27 female fiance, 29 male, had a nightmare that woke him up. What it was about is irrelevant. Boo.
Why did you include this?
So we were up talking at 5 a.m. All of a sudden, he tells me that his dad started speaking to his brother, fiance's uncle, again, but that now we had to invite them to our wedding. By the way, this comes from user throwaway63_. If you want to submit your own stories, why don't you just go to the r/OK Storytime subreddit. I'm Dakota.
I'm freaking Riley.
And I'm freaking Vince.
And we're going to freaking read this story. I'm going to give good advice on it. Maybe be a little goofy about it, because we're not the pros. I don't even know who the pros would be. Maybe Dr. Phil. But you don't get him today. You get us, which is great, because we're better than that. And also, you can tell us what you think in the comments, okay? Tell us how much better or worse we are than Dr. Phil. And OP says, we're on a tight budget. So tight, it's unheard of in our area. So far, we think we can pull it off, but we need to keep our guest list under 50 people, so we're considering a micro wedding.
Yay!
Dang, 50 people is a micro wedding?
I was going to say, I've heard a smaller.
Sounds like a lot of people. I'm imagining 50 people in a room right now. That's a lot of people.
Hey, 50 is actually pretty big.
I've had to cut a lot of people from my side who we both love and really want there. But it's the price to pay if we want a wedding and to not just elope. So I accepted it. His sister has absolutely tortured me the entire 10 years we've been dating. It makes me sick to my stomach to be in the same room as her. But he said she's family, she has to be there, so I gave in and reluctantly said fine. Because of how she treats me, they're definitely not close anymore, but he says she's still my sister. We're at our 50-person limit. We can't invite more people. So I told him it's a hard no to his aunt and uncle and cousin coming. Besides, his aunt is just as bad as his sister. She doesn't even want us together.
Don't invite them. The rule for inviting people to the wedding is, will they bring joy when they're here?
Exactly. If you're not happy that we're getting married, you're not gonna be there.
Exactly.
I don't want two people who make me uncomfortable there. This aunt, uncle, and cousin did not congratulate us on our engagement, nor have they ever reached out to my fiancé to say, hello, happy birthday, ask to see him, or ask how he is, etc., etc. There was no fight between the uncle and his family and my fiancé's family. They just grew apart over the years. So here's why I think I'm not the a-hole. I've already compromised twice. I cut so many relatives who mean the world to me and who I can't imagine getting married without them being there, and I compromised by agreeing that his sister could come. Also, I had to knock 2 additional people off, so there was a spot for his sister and her boyfriend. So I feel like I've done my share of compromising and losing out in the guest list department. In addition to my personal feelings, we have a strict limit from the venue that keeps us under 50 people. If we go above that, we're considered a regular-sized wedding, which adds thousands in fees that would put us too far over budget. This is the cheapest venue in our area, and they all have similar rules, so switching isn't an option. I think I might be the a-hole because it is his family. Maybe I should care less about my own feelings and cut something else, which would have to be the DJ or photographer, so we can afford to invite them. He was mad enough that he rolled away from me. We were cuddling and didn't talk to me the rest of the night, technically morning, and he didn't wake me up to kiss me goodbye in the morning. I asked him to do that. He's not being a wiener by waking me up. That's not a typical reaction from him, so I could tell he was hurt. And that's an update. He was hurt that his estranged aunt, uncle, and cousin can't come to the wedding?
Well, it's a sensitive subject. I would see this small mini red flags in your relationship. You should probably have more attention. Also, are you doing marriage counseling?
Sounds like you could probably use some, because this feels like strange behavior. He's acting like oh, well, you're not going to give me exactly what I want, then I will withhold physical attention and affection from you.
And guess what's going to happen when you guys get married? It's going to happen again.
He's probably going to keep pulling that crap, and I hate it. Me personally, one thing that will, if you genuinely pull a silent treatment on me for like a full like couple of days, it's over. But we've got an update. Some people thought we should break up over this, or that we shouldn't have gotten engaged in the first place. Fiancé does protect me from his sister and aunt and anything else in life I need protecting from, like yourself. So he tells you what to do and how to do it. We've steered clear of Aunt as much as possible, and he always defended me if we couldn't avoid her. Maybe torture was too strong of a word, but I was upset. She tells him to break up with me for being ugly and not having big enough chesticles.
What? Dude.
Yes, the orbs on my sternum are too tiny. She told me if I loved him, I'd leave. He was a big shot football player in high school, and I was the nerd who ate lunch alone. We were classmates, and for some reason his aunt didn't want to see us together, and apparently some of them are still stuck in high school. Having his sister in and out of my life has been my decision. She's mentally ill, and before her latest or biggest decline, we were extremely close. I love her more than anything and miss her so bad it hurts. I want her to get help and get better so she can be a part of my life again. I struggle with keeping her away, worse than he does sometimes. He never let her do anything or forced me to do anything. I'll admit, fiancé wasn't always perfect about boundaries and such, but that was in the beginning of our relationship when we were both literally children. We've grown since then. As I mentioned, he had a really bad nightmare, and this conversation took place at 5 a.m. when he woke up literally crying from it, and he is very much not a crier. The nightmare was about his father passing away. We already lost my mother-in-law not too long ago, and the thought of losing his dad too terrified him. The comment about his aunt and uncle was one sentence he blurted out in the middle of all that. We talked about it the next evening when he got home from work.
Okay, so the silent treatment is over. It lasted probably a span of 12 hours.
Don't silent treatment the people you care about. And also, okay, yeah, it makes sense that he was so insistent because he woke up and he was like, I just buried my dad in my dream. We have to invite everyone else. We have to invite my aunt and uncle. We have to do it. What happens? What happens if Papa passes? I'm sorry. By the way, you can listen to full episodes with stories just like this. Just go to your favorite podcast platform, iHeartRadio. That's a good one. Search OK Storytime. Boom. You've got it. Listen to them all. That's all I'm going to say about that. We've got a little bit more story.
Yay! Don't invite the aunt. Come on.
At this point, I think you guys should just find a little secret place. Go spelunking. Find a nice cave that has good sonics in it. You know, it sounds nice and echoey, nice and reverby. You know, go get eloped in a cave. You know, that's a very special thing. And then now you're already married. Do whatever you want. It's as simple as that.
And the cave's called Devil's Trap. And no one survives. You can't get out of it. You can go in, can't get out.
The devil's never met me before, buddy.
Cave diggers, why do you do it? It's optional.
He brought it up to me first, actually, and said, please forget what I said last night. It would be really stupid to invite those three. I was just having a moment. I said okay and reminded him that his dad is okay and asked if he wanted to plan a day trip to go visit. He said yes, and we went the next day and had a great time. Oh, I also asked him why he would roll over and ignore me, and he said his intention was to keep talking, but he genuinely just fell back asleep, which I believe because he was literally snoring moments later. I also double-checked with him that we both agreed the guest list was even, and we do both feel that way. Some friends are mutual and don't belong on one side or the other, but are definitely a both sides thing. Everyone also said we should have a rule that if we want to add someone, we need to take away someone who's on our side, and we both agreed to that. We're happy and talked it out. No toxicity or red flags here. And that is the end of that story.
I feel like you handled it well. If you like the way this resulted, then you may be get together forever. This is how you guys will work it out forever.
Together forever. We're together forever.
Yay. That was all right.